Fam, what's up? What's up? Kyle Henderson here, Bama Football on YouTube, coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Hope you guys are having a great evening. Call line is open 205-850-1994. It's rivalry week. Coach Saban was asked about the cigar about 10 times this week. And Coach Saban said, look, he's like, I don't smoke, but I do like to chew on a cigar. But in order to get the victory cigar, you have to be able to win the game. And Alabama taking on Tennessee. And in a game where Alabama is actually favored by 8.5 points going into this one, Alabama taking on Tennessee this coming Saturday. It's the third weekend of October 21st. Time, 2:30 p.m. TV is CBS. Hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. We appreciate you guys coming to us tonight. I'm in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, just a couple days away before the rivalry game ensues, and we have our first caller on the line. We'll take that caller in just a minute. And I wanted to pose these questions to you guys tonight. This is you make the call. Your biggest concern going into this game against Tennessee. That's question number one. What's up, Quan? I see you inside the comment box coming from the Big Easy. Number two, who are your X factors when you look at this game? Number three, Bama beats Tennessee if. Number four, can Alabama win a shootout? Honestly, I don't know if this game would ever go into a shootout, but considering Tennessee's has a fastball type offense and considering the fact that Alabama really hasn't been in a shootout because the defense has been playing fantastic, I think it's a question worth posing, right? Can Alabama win a shootout? And then number five, of course, I want to get your score prediction inside the comment box. What's up, JV? I see you inside the comment box. Jonathan, what's up? J Sports Card. Thank you to everybody joining us tonight. Roll Tide to everybody. And remember, when you're in Tuscaloosa, you come in for the game. Go to R&R Cigars. Check out Reagan Starter's great selection of cigars. Has a cigar mansion you can post up in there. So nice little spot for my boy Reagan. All right, with that said, we go to the phone lines. Remember, call-in line is open. 205-850-1994 is the call-in line. Let's get it started with a 205. Hey, good evening.
Hello?
Good evening. You're on the line
What's
with Kyle
up,
Henderson.
How are you?
Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
What's up, man? This is Eli from Phoenix, Arizona, but I'm a Birmingham native. So
What's up, man? Welcome to the show. I appreciate you calling in, man. Welcome on in and take it away.
I just want to say, I've been listening to a few of your shows in the past few weeks, and my standout just from some of your last questions, Toby Prentice was my neighbor for about 15 years. And I have watched that kid do Olympic level athletic stunts and all kind of stuff since he was knee high. Mm-hmm. So it's just my parents are huge Auburn fans, and me and my mom used to bet on whether or not he would go to Alabama or Auburn because his house was also divided. And luckily, I won that bet. But yeah, man, I want to see him get some more targets. I feel like he's, whenever he does get targets, he doesn't really ever drop the ball. And I don't know. I just feel like he's an awesome person, an awesome athlete, and he's my person to watch out for some of the remainder of the season when it comes to receivers. But yeah, I'm just hoping that we can get this offensive line situation worked out, and that I don't know, man. I don't know if it would be best at this point to, sub Caden Proctor out for somebody else or, just continue rolling with him. And because we're already this deep into the season, 7 games flew by. But, yeah, man, at this point, I'm just nervous every single game. It doesn't really matter who the opponent is, especially with last year's loss to Tennessee. It would absolutely suck to lose twice in a row to them if we don't get things figured out. But I think I'm pretty optimistic about it as far as, the defensive side of the ball goes and pretty much everything, that's not the offensive line. So,
Well, Eli, I appreciate you calling in. And let me ask you a couple of questions because we have you make the call where I ask 5 questions. So if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you the 5. You give me your honest take on the 5 questions if you can. And, are you ready? You ready to go? You ready for the 5?
Sure.
All right. So
Absolutely.
my first question to you is, what is your biggest concern when you look to Alabama versus Tennessee? And I get it. Tennessee is a good football team. They have a really good quarterback. Their pass rush is fantastic, which is concerning considering Alabama has allowed 31 sacks through 7 games. And you're right, 7 games has just got here, right? You're like, really? They played 7 games?
Yeah.
But when you look at this game collectively, what is your biggest concern?
I would just say like lack of consistency on offense, man. Like you don't know what. I feel like it's the same things being preached every single week,
Yeah.
and normally like Nick Saban's got his coaching staff really dialed in on cleaning these things up. But this year I feel like it's the same things week in and week out, and they're having some kind of trouble as to like remedying these issues. And other than offensive line, I just feel like I like Jalen Milroe. I just think he's been like kind of inconsistent, man. And, like I want to be, fully supportive, but I just don't know I don't know what it is. Like, I just want to see him be able to, like fix plays if they break down with his legs, like he's supposed to be able to do, and, things like that. And I would just say the offense as a whole would be my biggest concern, just lack of consistency.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think that's probably a lot of people's concerns, and I'm curious to get everybody's calls tonight regarding these 5 questions. And you're right, the offensive consistency has certainly been something that this team has lacked. I mean, they only played 1 quarter of football against Arkansas and still came away with the dub against a really good Sam Pittman team. All right, question number 2, you already highlighted Kobe Prentice in the beginning of the show, but who is your X factor or X factors? It can be from the offense, the defense, from the special teams. Who are your X factors when you look at this game against Tennessee for Alabama?
I want to say probably Dallas Turner or, somebody on the defensive side of the ball, maybe Caleb Downs. But I got to give props to Will Reichard too, man. Like, I don't think we could ask for a better kicker. It's crazy how, like, he completely flipped the script on, how we felt about our kicking game. Now it's like I kind of cringe whenever the offense takes the field, but I don't really have any doubts as far as our kicker goes. Anytime he comes in, I'm pretty confident in his abilities, and he's also like just a handful of points from I know he just won not won but set the record for SEC leading in your points of all time or whatever, but he's only a few points now from like the all-time record for all of college football, so that'll be fun to watch if he can make that happen.
Question number 3, and you're right, Will Reichard is now the all-time leading scorer, not only here at the University of Alabama, but in the SEC as well, and has an opportunity to become the all-time leading scorer in all of college football here in a couple games. Okay, so question number 3, Alabama beats Tennessee if this happens.
I'm going to say if we can get at least 120 yards rushing. I feel like our run game this year hasn't really been like what it has been in the past, but it's not terrible. I just don't feel like all of our backs for the most part we just don't have that bell cow back who can, just break down defenses and get the ball 30 times a game and that kind of stuff. But, I feel like 100 yards, 120 yards rushing, maybe like, Jalen Milroe with 200 yards or more. I think that should do it.
Number 4, can Alabama win a shootout? Now, Alabama hasn't been in a back and forth type game this season where they've had to put a lot of points on the board. Do you think that this team can win a shootout if they were to get in a shootout? And I know that's a hypothetical, but what is your opinion on that?
I think we probably can. I would like to see us like, if we start like a certain type of game plan, I would like to see us stick with that. You know what I mean? Instead of just kind of being all over the place and having zero consistency and losing our identity altogether. If like, I know Jalen's intermediate passing game isn't the best, but I feel like he can hit deep balls pretty well. And I think we can win a shootout. I just would like to see consistency leading up to, whatever happens in that kind of game.
Okay, and your last question, and we're on with Eli. What is your score prediction?
I'm going to have to say 34-17 Alabama.
34-17 Alabama. Wow. That's a big score considering Alabama's. But the other thing is Alabama's favored by 8.5. You know, you kind of think that a game like this would be close. I don't know. I kind of have the feeling that it'll be close, but wow, that's a big score. So Eli, I appreciate you calling in. I appreciate you answering the 5 questions. Please call again next time, and I appreciate your input tonight.
Absolutely, Roll Tide.
All right, Roll Tide to you. All right, Eli getting us started batting off leadoffs. We got a 601 and a 470 inside the call queue. I appreciate you guys calling in tonight. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Ty is saying it is 9.5. I just checked Bama Vegas Insider and it said 8.5, so that's what I'm going with. But if it has moved up, that is still surprising to me a little bit that the line is going up, considering, you know, this game last year came down to the wire. Tennessee has a really good team coming into this game. And I think a lot of people, it seems that they have anxiety with these games. I mean, now it seems like every game is kind of survive and advance, whereas in the past, Alabama would just kind of steamroll these teams through the SEC. But here we are with Alabama has a 6-1 record on the season. They've won 5 in a row, and they have a record of 4-0 in SEC play. So the Crimson Tide continues to control its own destiny. And I know you have to kind of look on the other side and see what's happening in the East. Georgia just lost Brock Bowers. Some people said that it was going to be a season-long injury. Then I saw 4 to 6 weeks. Whatever the case is, the world of college football is better with Brock Bowers in it. And you want Georgia to have their best players when you do match up with them. I mean, everybody remembers when Alabama and Georgia played in a pivotal game and Alabama was down 2 of their wide receivers, how that impacted the game, right? You know, Georgia came out on top, but would they have if Alabama has their starting guys? I think not. So you want their team to be at the best. Plus, that guy's a great kid. You never want to see any of these guys hurt. We go back to the phone lines with the 601. Hey, good evening. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Good evening, Kyle. How you doing today?
What's up, man? Who is this? We got Jay, right? What's up, Jay? I appreciate you calling in, man. I hope you're having a good night. We're just a couple more days away from Alabama versus Tennessee. So we're playing You Make the Call, where you call in. You know how to play, Jay. Jay is an avid caller from Pensacola.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, what is your biggest concern when you look to Alabama versus Tennessee?
I would just say the offense. Those 3 and outs. I mean, it wasn't smart. Like, I mean, I was at the game. Everybody around me like they was pissed, and I mean, I was too. But it's just the offense, in my opinion. Like, the offense got to get together. Defense doing their part, special teams doing their part. Everybody doing their part except the offensive line. Like it's just plain and simple. Ain't nothing else we can say about it. Just if the offensive lines can get it together. Like, at first, at the beginning of the season, they were doing good with the run blocking. Now it just seemed like it's not there. I mean, it seemed as if what's his name? Cole Kublik. He tweeted. He said that Alabama offense, like, run. If it doesn't work, then throw the ball. He called him a shotgun offense now. And I had to. As much as I hated to disagree, I had to agree.
On the line with Jay from Pensacola. Sorry, I switched my headset. I feel like I have a better pulse when I'm listening through here. Yeah, Cole Kublik does bring out some good points. You know, there was some interesting observations this week when people were putting stuff on social media following Alabama and Arkansas. And there was that drive, and I don't know if you guys missed it, but Alabama is literally rolling down the field, running the football. Roydell Williams is finding holes. He's following his blockers. He looks fantastic. Then they give the ball off to Jam Miller, and he busts off an 18-yard run. He looks like a grown man running north and south. He looks fantastic. And then Alabama's facing a 3rd and 3 from inside the red zone, and Alabama comes out and throws the football, and Jalen Milroe is unable to find an open wide receiver, and he throws the ball out of bounds. I'm like, 3rd and 3. They've been running the football down Arkansas's throat this entire drive. Why go away from the run? And I put earlier this week, run the football. You have these guys who are capable to run, and when the running backs are hot, you got to feed them. And I get it. Coach Saban right now is having a tough time, kind of distributing the football between the 4 running backs. It's not a huge problem to have, but it's hard to get those guys into a rhythm. Whatever the case is, whoever's the hot back, like, let them run with it. Let them go. Let these running backs get to that second level and make you miss. Because these running backs are, honestly, they're dynamic. If you go back and watch Roydell Williams in your rewatch, man, Roydell Williams, like, he probably not getting enough credit. And I know we all want to see the freshman Justice Saints, me included. Like, the guy has something special. You can just sense it, right? We all have that kind of extra sense. He has it. He'll get his in time. But those running backs, man, you got to feed them. Okay, Jay, who are your X factors? Is it one of these running backs that we're talking about going up against Tennessee?
I would say, yes. I would say I love to see just hands on the field. Like I said, I remember you saying before, he was just a shoestring tackle away from just running down to get a touchdown. I feel like I agree with you said, if he gets hot, yeah, I feel like it's good. Ain't no stopping him. And I've been high on Kobe Prentice. I've been high on Kobe Prentice since he started last year, and he got Devontae Smith jersey, and I feel like he's going to come in the clutch in a lot of these games. He's going to be our 3rd receiver. And I want to see more Malik Bisson as well.
I don't know if you noticed in this. Yeah, Kobe Prentice has, and just like Eli said in the beginning of the show, Kobe Prentice has been sticky in terms of his hands. Man, that guy's been catching everything thrown his way. Malik Benson dropped I think it was like an 8-yard pass or something like that. It was just like a pass was like right to him. I don't know if you guys saw that, but he did drop it. But I would like to see more Malik Benson.
Yeah, I did.
Coach Saban talked about Jermaine Burton today, and he highlighted him and said that, sometimes the play that he has affects other people around him. And you want we in the past and going into the season, you always talk about that alpha dog. Like, who is it going to be? And yeah, like sometimes, it gets a little too carried away, but at the other times, like, man, like, sometimes you get in that intensity mode and you're feeling it and you're just like, look, like, just give me the ball. And right now, Jermaine Burton he's feeling himself, honestly. Like, he's feeling good. He's confident. Get him the football. He can continue to make plays. Maybe that's my X factor. I'll give you mine at the end of the show. Okay, Jay, Bama beats Tennessee if?
I'm going to go with 24-17.
No. We said Bama beats if. Like, what has to happen?
I'm sorry.
We're not. Save your score prediction. We got 2 more questions to ask you.
I'm sorry. If the O-line holds up.
Oh, thank you. Okay, Jay, you're hitting like these nice ground balls to me. You're exactly right. Like, because 31 sacks in 7 games is mind blowing. Right? It's like that emoji when you send to somebody. It's just mind-blowing. And a lot of those have been on the offensive linemen themselves. A lot of them have been on Caden Proctor. In fact, I'm going to dig up the actual sacks and post them. And some of those have been on Jalen Milroe not getting rid of the football. Sometimes he's just ate some of them. He could get rid of some of them, but other times he's just kind of ate some. So, and they haven't all been on him, but everybody is accountable in that group. And the offensive line, and you know what?
I agree.
And you know what was the most disturbing thing that I saw this week was from Coach Saban when he looked like he didn't have an answer for the tackle position. Like, he was just like, during his Monday press conference, he was like, I just hope it gets better. Like, there's like, So does this mean we're just playing with 4 linemen the rest of the year? Like, oh man,
it drove me crazy because I see him multiple times. I was way understanding. I see him multiple times. He could have ran. He had a lot of opportunity to run. And they had a big gap, but yet you trying to look for a pass. If you don't, and I understand, we all talked about his mental clock. I agree. Mr. Clock has to speed up with the more experience he's getting. But if you don't see anything, and it was multiple times, it was a big gap in between. He could have ran between that gap multiple times. If you don't see anything, run. This is my opinion.
All right, Jay, can Bama win a shootout? This is my hypothetical of the night. This is my Wednesday hypothetical. If Bama was to get in a shootout, I'm just saying. I mean, it probably could happen at some point. Could Bama win a shootout? What do you think?
Cal, I love my team. But I'm a realist. I don't think. I don't know, Kyle. I don't think they can. To be honest, I'm gonna be just strictly honest. I don't think they can. I love my team. I believe in my team, but what they've shown me so far, I don't believe so. Because if the defense can't hold up,
yeah,
I feel like the only team they're gonna be in the shootout with is LSU, because they can score so quickly. Mm-hmm. If they can't keep up, I know probably offense. If the offense can't keep up, that means defense is going to get tired. Mm-hmm. So it's going to lead to more scoring. Mm-hmm. And if the offense can hold up, Kyle, I mean, I don't think it's possible, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. And final question that we have for Jay in Pensacola: what is your score prediction?
You know, I'm going to change up this year. It's going to be 24-14.
24-14. That is, all right. So we got, so it's 8 points. I mean, you think there's going to be that little points in this game, Jay?
Yeah, Kyle, I haven't seen these teams score over 30 points since the UT Martin game. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like, I mean, if they do everything correctly, if they play 4 quarters, not a half, not the first half or the second half, because in that first half, I thought they were going to dominate the whole game. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like it's going to be I feel like it's going to be a tough game. But I feel like Alabama's going to take away. I feel like they're going to win by 10.
10 points. All right. Hey, Jay, well, thank you very much for the continued support, man. Please call again anytime, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Have a good night. Roll Tide.
All right, Roll Tide to you, man. Thank you so much. Okay. All right, that was Jay out in Pensacola. Give us a call. We got a 470 and an 832. Okay, fam, we got to do some real talk right here, okay? So as you guys know, this is what I do for a full-time basis. So at the 40-minute mark in this show, 40-minute mark, I'm going to turn the chat to a members-only chat. So you guys are going to have the option to become a fan funder inside the chat. I appreciate you guys. There's different levels for you guys to support this YouTube channel. The super chats, the memberships honestly go a long way to help me continue to support myself just through the YouTube channel. I mean, it's just, it's part of any type of business. So there's going to be different levels of fan funding. So you guys will see this at the 45-minute mark inside the comment box. So these are the different options: Champions Club, Ultimate Fan Funders, and every single one comes with different memberships. Level 2 is $4.99. I think level 1 is like $2.99, and that's per month. So that'll be coming here at the 45-minute mark. With that said, we go back to the phone line, and we have a 470, and we'll take it right now. Hey, good evening. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, what's up, Kyle? It's Andrew from Douglasville. How you doing, bro?
Hey, what's up, man? I appreciate you calling in, man. There's a lot to dive into as Alabama gears up for Tennessee. And, I was going to add to You Make the Call, which we're playing tonight, kind of the anxiety level of people. And I guess, we could ask you that as well. before we you make the call, Andrew's a longtime caller, and appreciate you calling in. What's kind of your anxiety level as you go into this game, Andrew?
Well, I'm scared which Alabama team's going to show up,
Mm-hmm.
So that's my anxiety. So, if, the team that played Ole Miss and Mississippi State and who else did we do really good against? I guess A&M. They're pretty good against A&M. If that team shows up, I think we do all right. But I'm just nervous about what team shows up, man.
Yeah.
So I guess my anxiety level is like a 6 or a 7. But I'm confident the dominant Alabama is going to show up.
And that's kind of what Jay and what Eli were talking about earlier, was the fact that this team just has been so inconsistent in every single game. I guess outside of the Mississippi State game before Coach Saban really ripped on their ass, they've been inconsistent. Against Arkansas, they only had to play one quarter of football. I get it. They threw the big touchdown to Kobe at the end of the first quarter, but it was just the second quarter that we saw. And then third and the fourth, they were outscored 15-3. So it's been this dichotomy of emotions in terms of what to expect per quarter. So, I mean, I get it. A lot of people's anxiety and frustration is high because it's a stressful team to watch. But with that said, I was asked this morning, someone asked me, because they know what I do, my friends. I'm in this workout group that I've mentioned to everybody. We work out at 5 a.m. And they were like, so what's the status? And I'm going to tell you 3 things about this team. 3 things. Number 1, they are 6-1 on the season. Number 2, they have won 5 games in a row. And number 3, they are 4-0 in SEC play. Just win, baby. It's not pretty. The statistics aren't what you're accustomed to, but they're winning. And that's, and what is the standard of winning? Because Coach Saban said he was happy with winning, but you got to be able to beat the team, right? So there's a difference. And that, I've never seen this when covering the team. After beating Arkansas, it felt like a loss. Did it not, Andrew?
No, it was what the crap. That didn't feel like a good win, And even though Arkansas is a good opponent, I mean, because now if we would have been a close game, the whole game would have felt like a good win. Mm-hmm. But because we had such a big lead and we almost lost it, it almost felt like a loss because we played so bad in the second half. So I guess my biggest concern is which Alabama is going to show up, and then after that, because even when we've been dominant this season, we've always had issues with the O-line. So I think if the dominant Bama shows up, the team that played Miss State and A&M and Ole Miss, I'm concerned about how well the O-line is going to play, because if the O-line gives up 30 more sacks or something ridiculous like that, because they're giving up 30 plus sacks, which is ridiculous, they can't give up too many sacks against Tennessee or we're going to lose. Because Tennessee is a good team, so we gotta keep the drives going. So my X factor is going to be the defense, and then can the O line, and the biggest X factor is going to be can the O line sustain drives, because they only have to score every drive just if they can give the defense a rest, so the defense can be dominant. Because the longer rest the defense gets, then when they come out on the field again, they're rested. They're ready to play. So the offense has got to give the defense a rest so the defense can dominate. And, they obviously got to put up some points too. So I think the defense, how well the offense plays, and then definitely Jalen Murrow individually, because if he plays well, I think the offense will do good. So that's my 3 X factors to the game. And I think Bama beats Tennessee if we play a whole 60 minutes of football. The O-line plays well, the offense keeps up, and the defense dominates like it has been so far this season. I think Bama can win a shootout if the offense keeps scoring every drive they have possession, so the defense has time to stop that team or at least run out enough clock where they can't come back on us in a shootout. So, the offense has to keep scoring and the defense has to take enough time off the clock to where the team can't come back. And then I think my school prediction I'm really struggling with this one because if our defense dominates, I can see it being like 28-10 or something like that. I think if our defense gives up, I think our defense can give up 10 to 20 points. So it depends on how our offense plays. If our offense plays bad, it could be like 28-20. Or if they play really good, it could be 35-10. But I think our offense is going to show out. I think our defense is going to dominate. I know this is going to sound really high. I'm going to go 35-10 Alabama because I think this is going to be the game. We're not going to play our best game, but I think we're going to do a lot better and stuff, and I think the offense will do enough where it gives our defense enough time to our defense can stop Tennessee, hold them to only 10 points. So I think Alabama can definitely do it. So that's going to be my prediction, 35-10. But if it's offense doesn't do as good, I can see it going like 28-20 probably, or 28-10. I don't know, man. It's just hard to predict this team. I don't know. That's just they like you said, they've been so inconsistent. You don't know what team's going to show up, and you just don't know what to expect from this team. And they have so much talent, so it drives you crazy, man. See a team just this talented just be so inconsistent. But I think if we can win this game, I think if we can beat LSU and win the Iron Bowl, we'll be in Atlanta for the SEC championship. And, it seems like we always play our best game against Georgia, So if we can make it to the SEC championship, I think that's where we'll play our best game. It's a phenomenon. It's just every time we play Georgia, man, we just keep on scoring, man. We don't look back. That SEC championship, we beat them 41-24, and no one thought we were going to beat Georgia, and we blew them out. And then, and like you said, in the national championship, I don't think they would have won if we had Jamison Williams in.
No.
Because he went down in the SEC championship game.
Yep.
Well, did he go down in the national championship? Well, he went out in one of those games, and it's like, and then a freshman, they just couldn't catch the football. Craziest thing, we literally had that game in the bag, and a freshman could not catch the football.
Yeah.
Could not catch the football.
And a freshman who had called for the football all season, right? That was the
exactly. I know.
Yeah, that was the Jai Hall. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Georgia got that pick six, which is why it looked so bad when it really wasn't that bad. Alabama could have won that game, should have won that game, just couldn't catch the football, and that drives me crazy. But yeah, man, I think Alabama. I think it's not going to be pretty, but I think if we offense keeps up enough to give our defense a rest, I think our defense can win us the game. And I think, like I said, 35-10, man. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm excited, man. It's going to be a good game.
Yep.
And another factor actually, let me add this to the X factor, is we still got a lot of players that were at that Tennessee game last season. And I don't think they've forgotten, and I think they're angry. I think they're ready to take it out on Tennessee, man. I think they want the revenge. I think they want the revenge against LSU because, Jalen Milroe, he was on that sideline, man. He was on that sideline, and I think he wants to make a statement in this game. I think Bama's going to make a statement. But, yeah, man, I don't want to rant on anymore. That's all I got, man. I think Bama's going to do good this game. It may not be the best performance, but I think it's going to be pretty good. And I think it's going to set up Alabama for the rest of the season.
Well,
that's all I got for you, Kyle, man.
Well, thank
Roll
you so
Tide.
much. Roll Tide to you, Andrew, and thank you very much for continuing to call in and show support, man. And really good points as usual, man. Andrew out in Douglasville. Thanks for the call, buddy.
All right, man.
All right, that was Andrew. All right, we got some super chats in. We got Elizabeth Reed back in the house. Haven't been nervous since Fear the Thumb with Tuberville. Yeah, look, I get it. The anxiety level is high for everybody. The frustration level is high for everybody. The excitement level is great when Elizabeth Reed is in the house. This is the studio that she built, $100 spot. Thank you very much for the continued support, Elizabeth. We appreciate you. We were wondering, I was like, where did she go? We're glad that you're back. We appreciate your continued support, honestly, of the channel. And thank you so much for the super chat. We also have another super chat coming in from Drew, and he said, Bull bold prediction, Chris Broswell will block a last play field goal attempt like Terrence Cody in 2009. Bama 16-14 has it close. Thanks so much for the super chat, Drew. We really appreciate you. And then Adam, who is another frequent super chat. Thank you very much, Adam. We appreciate your support. Hey, Kyle, I think Bama wins 30-17. Our front will stop Tennessee's run, and Milton will not be able to match up with our secondary. Will be no match for our secondary. Yeah, I think that this Alabama secondary, and a keynote today was Coach Saban's press conference, which you can watch in its entirety right here on our YouTube channel, where he talks about the health of Malachi Moore, saying that Malachi Moore has been able to practice. With Malachi Moore, the defense is elite. With Trey Amos in there, they're still top level. Malachi Moore has been exceptional at that star position. Terrion Arnold and Kool-Aid have been playing very outstanding. And then the two safeties, Jalen Key. You see the big hit that Jalen Key put on the young man in the last game from Arkansas. That was deadly. And then, the amazing thing is Caleb Downs is leading the team in tackles with 54 as a safety. I know it's not always the best to have your safety leading in terms of tackling, but everything that he has done, he's playing at such a high level and grading out really high on Pro Football Focus. So thank you very much for the super chats. Appreciate all the support. And remember, at the 45-minute mark on the show, you will have an opportunity to become a member inside the chat. You'll be actually prompted to be a fan funder, and we appreciate your guys' support. All right, we go back to the phone lines with an 832, and we start right now. Hey, welcome to the show. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
This is Mike from Austin, Texas.
Hey, what's up, Mike? I appreciate you calling in. Thank you very much for your continued support to call in. Where you want to start, man? You want to play Make the Call? You got an opening monologue that you want to get to? It's your show, man. Welcome.
I do have an opening monologue. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yes, my opening monologue is this, man. I always have anxiety with this year's Bama team. And the reason why, man, you look at these last few games, these last 2 or 3 games, they came down to pretty much the last final plays of the game. With Texas A&M and Arkansas, Bama, I mean, they just can't hang on to win every game. The next 4 tough games coming up, coming down to the last play of the game. I mean, that definitely gives me anxiety. So my anxiety with this team, you never know what you're going to get with this team. So my anxiety level is pretty high with them every week, especially these next 4 games coming up, because Tennessee, LSU, at Kentucky, at Auburn, that's a pretty tough stretch. So they got to just do better than it coming down to the last plays of the game every week, because eventually that's going to get them. And the second part of the monologue, Tennessee Volunteers, it kind of blows my mind how down they've been. Mm-hmm. What I mean by that, Bama beat them. They're one of the top 10 winningest programs in the history of college football. Mm-hmm. Bama's beat them 15 times in a row. The Florida Gators beat them 17 times in a row. I mean, even during Alabama's worst times, they've never been dominated like that, been down that far. So it just kind of mind boggles me about how far Tennessee's been down. And their fans, I don't blame them for throwing the goalposts in the river, man, because they finally found some success. They beat Alabama last year. And, I'm not a Tennessee fan, but I'm glad they're relevant again in the college football world starting next week, not this week, of course, but starting next week. But yeah, man, every week I have anxiety with this Bama team, no doubt about it.
All right, so we're playing You Make the Call tonight. What's your biggest concern going into this game against Tennessee?
Well, it's not our defense, and our defense is elite. And so it's got to be on the offensive side of the ball. And again, I know we beat this horse on a weekly basis, man, but it's the offensive line and Jalen Milroe. Milroe's getting better and better every week, but he's got a 2 tough game stretch coming up. So it's just going to be offensive line blocking for Jalen Milroe and putting points on the board. That's my biggest concern going into this week. And thank goodness in the stars that, we got an elite defense, because our offense, really, they are not putting up big numbers. I mean, I don't think they broke 500 yards all year, and I don't think they put more than 30 points up except over the first game of the year maybe. But, so definitely it's going to be the offensive line and Jalen Milroe putting some points on the board. That's my biggest concern.
Yeah, when you look at the running back room for Alabama, collectively, I'll read out the stats right now. You have Jace McClellan, who has a net total of 454 yards. You have Roydell Williams, who has 319 yards. And then after that, it's Jalen Milroe. Justice Haynes has 10 attempts for just 62 yards. And surprisingly, Jam Miller, who's played in total of 7 games, he also plays in some special teams as well, has 13 attempts for 55 yards. So the running back room overall is led by Jace and Roydell, who don't even have a total of 1,000 yards net just yet. Now I'm sounding like a poet. Going through 7 games, which is really interesting. Okay, who are your X factors in this game?
I would say the X factors are going to be the linebackers putting pressure and stopping the run, Tennessee's run. I think Tennessee's got a good running game. So the X factors are going to be Dallas Turner and our defensive front stopping their running game and putting it on Milton for Tennessee to win the game. So that's going to be the X factor right there. Again, it's going to be our defense, because I don't see Bama scoring over 30 points with all due respect to our beloved team. So it's going to be up to our defensive line to carry us through the season. So the X factor is going to be Dallas Turner, the other linebackers, and and the defensive line is looking good. Then just shutting down Tennessee's running game and putting the game on Joe Milton's shoulders. And if that happens, Bama's got a pretty good chance of winning.
All right, so Alabama beats Tennessee if?
Well, just part two, just like what I said, man. If they can, if it's up to Joe Milton, up to Joe Milton to win the game, we got a chance to do so. But if Tennessee gets their ground game going, then Bama maybe and play some ball control, then Bama's going to be in trouble a little bit, So, but like I said, if Bama can just get Tennessee off the field, I know it's a little cliche, but if they get Tennessee off the field, put the game on Milton's shoulders, and Bama's got a pretty good chance of winning. That's going to be so they beat Tennessee if they can shut down the running game and hold them to not a whole lot of points.
And the thing about it is Alabama's defense has done such a great job, not only in the past, but also stopping the run. I mean, this defense has been great in all facets, to be honest. I mean, Kool-Aid was talking about this on Tuesday, saying that even though Tennessee does like to use almost the entire field, which is 53 yards side to side, that, he focuses on the run and he has confidence in the guys in the box because they've been doing such a great job stopping the run. And I think I notated this I have some members only shows that I post out if you're a member, and I was talking about the play of Tim Keenan. I want to get your take inside the comment box right now. Do you think that the play of Tim Keenan, and I'm going off track, I'll get right back to the points, but do you think that Tim Keenan and even Tim Smith have outplayed Jaheim Otis? And I'm not dogging on Otis by any means. I just think when he lost kind of all that weight, he turned into a different style of player. Do you think that Keenan and Smith have outplayed Otis? Have you noticed that, Mike?
I think they have. Yeah, I think the whole defensive line's playing good. I mean, individually, I'm not really sure. I just look at them as a unit. But I know that I think Keenan's doing good. But I think overall that the defensive line, working with the linebackers, are just really playing at an elite level, and the secondary as well. I mean, the whole defense is playing good. But like I said, individually, I'm not sure, Kyle. But overall, as a unit, the defensive line, they're doing good as far as what I can see.
Okay, and we just got another super from Miss Elizabeth Reed. Says, sorry for my absence, been traveling throughout Europe the last few. However, I'm glad we have Kevin still as a DC. It's apparent when watching Ole Miss. And this is a great point. So thank you for the follow-up super chat, Elizabeth. But also, I was thinking about this as well. Think about the offense and the minds that Alabama's already faced. So you went against Texas in their elite group, plus Steve Sarkisian. You went against Lane Kiffin and the way that he orchestrates his offense. And then you went up against save it. You went up against Texas A&M, their receivers, okay? Because their receivers are very, very talented. Still amazing what's happening in College Station with not only kind of their cheerleaders, but also with Jimbo Fisher, right? It's hard. It's amazing to me that they've lost 8 games in a row on the road. That's just mind-boggling to me. Okay, on with Mike from Austin. Can Alabama win a shootout? If they were ever to get in a shootout, because they haven't been in a shootout, I'm asking, do you think they could? And I know people are a little skeptical about this. What's your take, Mike?
No, I don't think Alabama can win in a shootout, man. And this is our beloved Crimson Tide I'm talking about. But I kind of equate this year's team to like the Gene Stallings national championship team, where it's all defense. If we're going to get to the promised land, it's going to be the defensive side of the ball is going to get us there. And the same thing on this team. Just from what we see so far, the answer is no. Now, do they have potential with Jalen Milroe getting better and better? The receivers are finding their way, and I don't think receivers are dropping passes no more. They seem to be securing these passes and catching the ball a lot better. Uh-huh. So maybe, they have the potential of winning the shootout, but the short answer is no. Mm-hmm. This offense is barely putting up 400 yards, 500 yards, and I don't think so, Kyle. It pains me to say that, but I don't think so. That's my biggest fear is LSU. It's going to be a shootout. Tennessee, I don't think so. LSU is going to be a shootout, and that's the game that really is going to drive my anxiety level to 101% because that's going to be a different ball game there. But no, sir, I don't think Alabama can win in the shootout. They're going to win. If they hold the other teams to less than 20 points, Bama's going to win. If the other team gets over 30 points, Bama's got a low percentage of winning that game. That's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah, I think that's a fair take. Okay, and lastly, what is your score prediction when you're going into this game?
Well, I'm going to say Bama's going to win. I say this is a revenge game. Bama's going to win. And I think it's going to be just like the last two have been. I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter, the last few plays of the game. And I say Bama's going to win 27 to 21. That's my prediction. I don't see Bama scoring a whole lot of.
You have it close.
27 to 20. I don't see. Yeah, it's going to be close. I don't see Bama putting up a whole lot of points on nobody, man. Because Tennessee's got a good defense, I believe. But but believe me, I'd like to see. I just want to see a victory. I don't care if these victories are 1 point every week. They just got to keep winning, And defense is going to carry the way. But the offense is getting better and better and better. And the running backs are good, man. The running backs are stout. They when they get their chance, it seems like they put up good numbers. And the young running backs are stout too. But like I say, Jalen Milroe, he's getting better. He's getting better. So, and the offensive line, I don't know, man. They're slowly getting better, I guess. But that's the biggest weakness of the team right there, the offensive line. But I think Bama's going to win. But I think just like the last couple of games, it came down to the last play and the last couple of plays or whatever. But I do think Bama's going to win this because it's a revenge game, and it's in Tuscaloosa. And Bama, they seem to be hanging on for the season, But yeah, about 27 to 21. That's what I think is going to be somewhere in there, Kyle. I hope it ain't no shootout. Trust me, if it's a shootout, oh God, I hope not. That's going. But like I said, these next four games are going to be a tough road, man. For anybody. These next four at Kentucky. When Kentucky's a decent team, it's going to be at Kentucky, and there's one or two turnovers can go either way, but. We're going to see how these next four games play out, but I trust me, my anxiety level is going to be up there.
Well, I appreciate the call in from Austin, Mike, and thank you for the continued support, and we'll catch up with you next time.
All right. Thank you, man. You take care. God bless.
All right. God bless you too, man. Take it easy. We got a 256-803 and a 256. We'll put the call-in line number at the bottom. We got another super chat in from Adam, and he is saying, Kyle, this team is giving me high blood pressure because I still have no idea how good they really are. What do you think? How good are they, and what are they capable of? Look, I think about it when you look to this team is, and I've said this is the thing that I'm going to live off of, is if the offense can catch up with the defense, this team can win the national title. And you might be out there and you're like, what? Considering that this team hasn't put together 4 quarters. But that's the reason why. Like, if this offense starts to click and they start to gel and the left tackle position, poof, appears, then this team can beat anybody out there, honestly. And I've asked this on my last show as well. Okay, you put North Carolina, honestly, think about this, 100%. I want to hear from you inside the comment box. You put together Florida State, you put together North Carolina, and you put Alabama in a cage match, closed off. Which team comes out alive? Honestly, Florida State, Alabama, North Carolina. Okay? Think about that. Okay, another match. You put Alabama, Penn State, you put Ohio State, it gets a little bit more dicey, right? But you still think Alabama probably has a chance. Their defense is that good. Their offense, if they ever catch up, this team can go the distance. Now, right now, that's all rat poison because they can barely, we're wondering if they can beat Tennessee. We're wondering if they can survive that open week and go on to LSU because right now it's survive and advance until they show us something different. But yeah, this team is capable of great things if that offense ever catches up. The concerning point is the left tackle position and the inconsistency at the quarterback position that we've seen, right? So those are areas that we got to continue to see improve. But yeah, the sky's the limit for this team, honestly. Claire, what's up? We appreciate the super chat. Thank you very much. Roll Tide, thanks for being fan funder. We appreciate it. And that is a funny looking dog inside that avatar. Hattie Mae, what's up, man? Thanks for becoming a member right here on our YouTube channel. Appreciate it, man. Hattie Mae is in the house. Hattie Mae is from Birmingham. We go back to the phone lines, and it's a 256, and we start right now. Hey, thanks for calling in. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Kyle, this is Jay, man. I done moved, man. I'm up here in Smithfield, Virginia now.
What's up, man? What, Jay?
Yeah, I'm Jay.
What's up, Jay? I appreciate you calling in, man. Welcome to the show. Take it away. What you got for us?
Man, I think play calling could help out their quarterback a whole lot, man. I don't think Tommy Rees, I don't think he I feel like, man, we done gave him every excuse in the book. These little 6, 7 games, man, we done gave him every excuse in the book. And we ain't seeing nothing. We ain't seeing nothing out of this, man. Can't nobody explain why Kendrick Law ain't got the ball on a jet sweep. Mm-hmm. I mean, ain't that a simple play that should be ran?
And see, preach right here, because the thing about it is, and I've been saying this for a long time, is that when I'm with Jay from Virginia, is that Kendrick Law reminds me of Deebo Samuel from the 49ers. Honestly, like he might get there eventually, but he has the speed, he has the power. Did you see him returning kicks? Like, the guy runs hard. Sir. So get him the football in creative ways. And look, I'm not a big guy about like these reverse passes and anything that is like, you know, from the backyard kitchen. I'm not saying that. I'm saying get the football to guys in open space. There's no screens from this team. Seldom, right? There's no jet sweeps. There's no, like, get the players the football and don't be afraid to rely on the running game, right? If it can ever get there, get these guys the rocks. I mean, like, the way that Roydell Williams was running the football, Jace, Jan Miller, like, don't be afraid when it's 3rd and 3 or even 3rd and 5 to get these guys the rock. You have the most outstanding kicker in college football. Be aggressive inside the red zone. You don't have to put, you don't have to throw the ball away or something like that. Beat these running backs. Let them eat. Go ahead, Jay.
Man, see, I don't like to blame the players because, see, they making NIL. But, man, the adults in the room got to be the adults in the room, man. Tommy Reese is not doing his job. That man sucks. And see, like I super chatted in to the coaching show. I said Tommy Reese sucks. My boy Coach Smook went off on me. Nah, you gotta quit saying. But hold on, man. How many times we gonna get this man all these excuses, man? Cause I know plenty of 12-year-olds, man, that play NCAA 14, man, that can call some pretty good games, man. that I'm looking at like, goodness, bro. Can you go out there out-coach Tommy Reese? Cause it's looking like it, man. I ain't seen a jet sweep. I ain't seen a really a read option. You ain't seen no hurry up. And we came here with this big idea of the man with the tight ends. But why you ain't seen no packages with Robbie Oots, Danny Lewis, and Not Black on the field and run the ball behind that, and you get so creative behind that. You see what I'm saying? A 10-year-old who just playing football can come up with that idea. But see, man, we got to start blaming these adults in the room, man. Tommy Reese, I ain't, I don't want to name drop the other show, but I called into another show and I was like, hey, man, this ain't no Alabama guy, man. He don't know what winning football is. This man wasn't no winner in college. You know what I'm saying? You was a backup quarterback. Your first interview we hear from him, he talk about he would have rather been an offensive guard or something like that. Hold on, man.
Yeah.
What's going on? What kind of coach is that? Like, I don't even understand what kind of thinking that was for him to even say something like that.
Well,
and now I'm seeing it in the field, on the field.
Well, this is the thing that I mean, like, there's been a couple instances where, like that 3rd and 3 against Arkansas, like keep running the football. There was some other times where he's done a couple of things, but he's young. Right, this guy is like, what is he? He's 31 or something like that, and I don't even know. I'd be curious to get.
That ain't no excuse, man.
No,
that ain't no excuse, man. I'm 30, man. I'm 30, man, and I know when you on the 1 yard line, this Alabama, man. That's why I say he ain't no Alabama guy. You know what I'm saying? This Alabama, man. You on the 1 yard line. Guess what you do? You gonna get up under center, you gonna line up in this smash my football for 4 plays, and you know what's coming. Bro, you ain't no Alabama. What kind of coaches feel that? You know what I'm saying? It was about a tone. It was a way of being. That's what that play call was about. You know what I'm saying? Man, Tommy Reese he ain't got that in him, man. Like I say, he wasn't no winner in college. So we can't expect this man to come to Alabama and just be a dog. And we need us a dog at offensive coordinator who want to run the ball. Man, you up 21 points, man. You supposed to go and keep running this ball, put your foot on these folks' neck, man, and go and kill everything that they got going. But no, man, now we sitting here questioning ourselves, man. Questioning ourselves going into the biggest part of the season. Right now, we should be moving and grooving on offense. We got more questions than we came into the season with. Why? Because of the coordinator, man. It ain't the players. Man, these folks 350 pounds up front. Ain't no way I got y'all moving left and right in the goal line straight ahead. I just need you to move these people out the way. Double team. You know what I'm saying? Well, we ain't seen none of that, man. I'm going to quit ranting, man, because I'm getting heated, man. I love y'all. Roll time. Roll time.
Wait, Jay, I got to ask you these 5 questions before you bounce, though.
Okay.
All right.
My boy Tommy get to me.
All right, here we go. Okay, so with that said, is it safe to say your biggest concern about this Tennessee game is Tommy Reese?
Tommy Reese and whoever gonna line up on defense in that slot against they slot receiver. Because, I mean, I know Malachi, he's a good guy and all, but he ain't got the downfield speed, and they got some fast guys again. You know what I mean? We know that's going to be their main play action, throw it deep. Hey, we need some guys right there that can run. I hope to see Earl Little a little bit or some knock Arnold in again. You know what I mean? And play three cornerbacks like we have a couple times.
All right, and who are your X factors in this game?
I'm going to go Tim Keenan, because he going to single-handedly shut down they run. He going to be a big man in the middle. And, man, I'm going to say Jace, man. Jace going to have a pop-off game. Tommy Reeves, he going to hear enough complaining about running the ball. He going to feed them in, and he going to let all four on eat. I see all four running. I'm going to just say the running back group. Everybody going to go crazy. Everybody get a 20-plus yard run. These folks like to blitz, but they do not blitz soundly. You know what I'm saying? They not gap sound. They just be running out there sometimes. Hopefully we can catch them.
All right, so Bama beats Tennessee if?
Man, if we play to the Bama standard, if we coach to the Bama standard.
Bama standard. All right, and let's see. And what's your score prediction?
Well, I took the over, so whatever they need to take to hit the over game. So I'm gonna say like 35-17. Bama blowout at home.
35-17 Bama blowout at home. All right, Jay. Well, I appreciate you calling in, man. I know you're frustrated about Tommy Rees. I think there's a lot of people that are frustrated with a lot of things when you look at this team. But you calling again, man. We appreciate your support, and thanks for calling in.
Yes, sir, man. Y'all have a good night, man. Love y'all. Roll Tide.
All right, love you too, man. Roll Tide. Take it easy. All right, we got an 83803 coming up next. Then we got a 256 and a 972. All this and more coming right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Appreciate you guys watching the show and you guys that are members and super chats. Thank you very much for supporting the content. Okay, with that said, we go back to the 803 and we start right now. Hey, thanks for being patient. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, what's going on? This is Antoine from Columbia, South Carolina.
Hey, what's up, Antoine? I appreciate you calling in, man. Thanks for joining us. Alabama and Tennessee, third Saturday in October. Time is 2:30. TV is CBS. With that said, man, welcome to the show. Appreciate you calling in.
Thanks, man. I want to go back to the last game with Arkansas. I wasn't even too much surprised about that game because ever since Arkansas got Pittman and KJ Jefferson, the game either a shootout or a grind-out game. So I'm not even surprised by that. You know, a lot of people don't understand that it's hard to win a college football game in the SEC. You know, the Big Ten, they're not all that good. Pac-10 don't have any defense. The Big 12, they don't got Texas and Oklahoma. So it's really hard to win in the SEC, man. And, you know, I'm a little frustrated with Tommy, but at the same time, he's only been offensive coordinator 1 year at Notre Dame. So now he's at Alabama. He's still trying to learn things. You know, he has like 10 times the better athletes than Notre Dame. So, I mean, he has a whole bunch of guys to work with. Like, honestly, they should be blowing everybody out of the water. So I'm trying to be patient with him. It gets a little frustrating, but I think they will be okay. I think, you know, one game at a time. And I think every game is going to get better. You know, everybody's worrying about stats and blowout points. You know, I'm just worried about wins and losses. They're still winning. I think they're going to turn the corner. Trust me. You know, you're going to see Ja'Cory Brooks and Malik Benson are going to come through. And when they come through, you're going to see. You know, right now, Jalen Miro, he's getting better and better every day. You know, he's got to learn how to stop holding that ball. Once you see a read, let the ball go and start working your legs. He's overthinking, and then I need him to start just using what he got. I think Alabama will be okay, man. All they got to do is keep winning. Like last year, the only two things that stopped them from going to the playoffs last year was Arkansas couldn't put away LSU, and the committee put TCU in. You know, so I think Alabama will be okay. Right? It's a little frustrating right now because, you know, I don't see no slant passes, no throwing to the running backs on the flat. But trust me, I think Nick Saban know what he's doing, and Alabama, they will be okay. They just need play one game at a time, and they will be all right.
All right, we got another big super chat from Miss Elizabeth Reed. It's $100 spot, so I got to read this on the air, Antoine. This is what she says. She says, the only thing that is relevant about Tennessee is Morgan Wallen. Love Morgan Wallen, of course. She's kidding. The fact is that this team is 6-1, speaks to this team's natural ability. Completely agree. Because we don't know, like, the sky's the limit for this team. Like, they're just good. They're better than so many teams with just where they are at. But the sky's the limit if they ever are able to piece together 4 quarters. Honestly, who's going to beat them, right? My biggest complaint is how undisciplined this team is, penalties. The verdict is out on Tommy. And so obviously, she agrees with the last caller. So thank you very much, Elizabeth, for the super chat and for the points. Appreciate the continued support. And I get it. Like, the penalties, we saw them go up and then down. There still are and I wonder, like, those 9 pre-snap penalties that they had against Texas A&M, how much of that was because of the fact of the crowd atmosphere? Because that stadium was crazy, right? And that's why it's so great that Alabama has these next 2 games at home, Tennessee and LSU. Those are at home. It's going to be challenging to play on the road in Lexington against Kentucky, but nothing like it would be at Death Valley or at College Station, right? And when they play in Auburn, like, that game is just crazy no matter where it is. So we're playing You Make the Call tonight, where I ask you 5 questions. So you ready to go, Antoine?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So outside of, I guess, Tommy Reese, what is your biggest concern going into this game against Tennessee?
The big concerns, I would say, the offensive line and making sure the DBs do what they're supposed to do. I think Malachi Moore needs to sit out and rest for the LSU game. I think they'll be all right. But if the offensive line do what they need to do, and Jalen Miro just don't hold on to the ball and be a game manager, I think they'll be just fine.
Okay, who are the X factors that you have? It could be on offense, defense, special teams. Who you got as the X factors in this game?
The X factors is Quindarius Robinson and Tim Keenan.
Man, great! I love it.
I think those 2 guys, they are going to be the reason why Tennessee's not going to have a running game. I was thinking about Jalen Miro, but as long as he's managed the game, he'll be fine. But the defense is going to help them. If the defense helps them give them the right field advantage, they'll be just fine.
Yeah, and thanks so much for bringing up Q Robinson, because he is a player that shined early in the season, and then the way that Alabama's defense went, they kind of went away from him just because they weren't in that same formation set. But he's a fantastic football player, and Coach Saban said that he's been one of the best special teams players, but he has a lot of ability to get on the field, and he has really long arms. He's really athletic, so highlighting him is great. And I think more Q Robinson, the better, in the packages where he needs to be, because Chris Broswell is playing at a very high level, as is Dallas Turner. So those guys are just playing at a very high level, and that's why Coach Saban was asked about Keon Keeley and Yanzi Pierre, the freshmen. Why haven't they gotten onto the field yet? Well, we haven't been in those situations where we can get a lot of those young guys in. And, those guys have to play 4 quarters. They have to be 4-quarter ready. And there's never been a time so far this season, maybe outside of that Mississippi State game, where you could really let the young pups in, right? Like right now, like this is down to the wire. So you got to keep the guys in. Dallas Turner's sack against KJ Jefferson, you don't have that. Last week, Arkansas probably drives down the field and scores. Okay, so Bama beats Tennessee if this happens.
Bama beats Tennessee if they control the line of scrimmage and control Tennessee's running game. I didn't know Tennessee had that much good of a running game. If they control Tennessee running game, the defense the defensive backs, they're going to be just fine. They're going to control everything in the defensive backfield. As long as they hold the running backs to, I say, 40 yards at the most, we'll be fine.
Yeah, that running game is certainly stout. 40 yards would be a hell of a job. They're doing a great job. Who knows? I mean, this defense is built to stop the run, built to stop the pass. We'll see. Okay, so can this Alabama team, let's just hypothetically say it gets into a shootout. Can this team win in a shootout?
Yeah, I think so. It's a sink or swim thing. You never know until you throw them in the water and see if they swim. Every game you're gonna see something different from Alabama. I think they can win a shootout. Jalen Miro is second to Caleb Williams in the nation for deep balls.
Yeah.
You know, one thing people don't understand, Jalen and Joe Milton, they kind of mirror each other. They have the same kind of issues. Jalen is far along better than Joe Milton. Joe Milton was a walk. He was at Michigan first for 3 years before he transferred, and he's still progressing. So I think Jalen is far more advanced than Joe Milton. They're almost the same alike. And yeah, I think they can win a shootout because Alabama have better receivers. Alabama have better athletes. They just haven't shined yet.
Yeah.
Once Jacory Brooks, Jalen Hill, Malik Benson runs like a 4-3. What's the other run? Isaiah Bond. Once they get clicking, oh man, they can blow anybody out of the water. So yes, I do believe they can win a shootout.
And you bring up a good point regarding the shootout because, I mean, a shootout usually involves deep balls, right? And getting guys who are explosive that can make plays out in the open space. Isaiah Bond, game breaker. Kobe Prentice just came up with a 50-yard plus pass. Kendrick Law, we've talked about him. Jermaine Burton, his average is 25 plus yards. It's outstanding. So all of these guys, Malik Benson, he hasn't even really shown what he can do over the top. But if Alabama was to get into a complete street fight, like to where it's just a no holds bar and Jalen Milroe is just bombing it, you know, I have confidence in these guys because these wide receivers collectively are better than the receivers from a year ago, 100%. These guys are starting to give, I mean, Jermaine Burton, we might call him a rideout. And that's kind of like a title now that these guys get, right? You got to earn that rideout name because those guys in the past, those were rideouts. Those guys that we're seeing on Sundays, those are rideouts. Jalen Waddle, Jameson Williams, Jerry Jeudy, right? Those guys are
not mean to cut you. Yes, not mean to cut you off. I get it. We don't have Tua. We don't have Bryce, and we don't have Jalen, Jerry, Henry Rose. But these guys, they're coming into their own. You know, I'll say this: last year when they played Auburn, they barely got out, and then the next week in the SEC championship, they look a total different team. And this is what I see this year. You know, Alabama's going to click, and they're going to overexceed expectations. Just watch.
All right, let's see. Okay, finally we got score prediction. What you got?
28-24 Alabama. It's going to come down to a defensive stop.
28-24 Bama defensive stop. All right, man. Well, Antoine, I appreciate you calling in, man. Thanks for chatting with me, and we'll catch up with you again next time.
Thank you so much, bro.
All right, man. Take it easy. All right, we got a 256-972 inside the call queue. Call line is 205-850-1994. Thank you very much to Elizabeth Reed and Adam, as well as William for becoming a new member. Drew Dunlap, his had a super chat as well, talking about Chris Broswell. Elizabeth also became a member. So did Hattie B. You can become a member of our YouTube channel by hitting the join button in the chat area. And we appreciate you guys' continued support right here on Bama Football on YouTube. With that said, we go back to the phone lines, and it's a 256. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Timmy from South Carolina.
All right. Did you say Timmy?
Yes, sir.
All right. What's up, Timmy? I appreciate you calling in from South Carolina, man. Welcome to the show. Go ahead. Take it away.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a game of possessions, really. Like if Jalen Milroe can extend drives with his legs, like he didn't do that against Arkansas. I've heard rumors about him being banged up.
Yeah.
If he can extend with his legs, that will make Alabama tough to beat in this game. And that's mainly what it comes down to is play calling.
Yeah, I think, yeah, sorry to interrupt you, Timmy, but I think like when you look, there's been kind of that rumor floating out there that Jalen Milroe has some sort of a nagging leg injury, hamstring or whatever, and he's not running the football. No one's ever been able to prove that so far. That we would have learned that against Arkansas because he was about to take off. I don't know if you remember, like it was in the first quarter before he threw that bomb, and like somebody grabbed his shoestring. We were about to find out if he was going to run for 90 yards or if he was going to pull up with his hammy. Do you remember that? He was like, everyone was like, okay, here it is. And then he got tackled, and then we're like, dang it, like, we don't know. He is, look, Jalen, for what he does, and I've said this before, I think he's the fastest player north and south on the team. But side to side, of course, he's athletic and agile, but it's a completely different sense from Bryce. Like Bryce is way faster side to side. He's a ninja side to side, but straightforward, he's not that fast. He's not a fast quarterback. But side to side, I mean, there's a different suit, right? East to west is different from north to south. Okay. So I'm asking everybody, you make the call, 5 biggest questions, going on into this game. You ready? You ready for the questions, Timmy?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. So your biggest concern when you look to this Alabama and Tennessee game?
The Tennessee pass rush. They are actually fourth on the most sacks this year, and Alabama has allowed 31 sacks in 6 games, which is freaking mind blowing. If they can hold that defensive line and they can give Jalen Milroe time, I ain't got no worries because he's gonna dish it out. But if they allow sacks, Alabama's gonna be in trouble this game, I believe.
Yeah, I mean this team can get after the quarterback 100%, and that's one of the things that I think concerns not only the fans who are watching this game on TV, but Coach Saban. I mean, you heard him on Monday said, "Hell yeah, I'm concerned about the pass rush," and why wouldn't you be? I mean, my goodness. I mean, imagine the development that we would see from Jalen Milroe if he had an intact line, right? Some things are on Jalen Milroe, 100%. Sure. But also, if you don't have a tackle and you're running for your life and you're throwing on the run, man, you're going to be prone to making more mistakes. Now, we're not condoning some of the interceptions that he's thrown earlier in the season, exactly. But for the most part, man, this line has collapsed. And it's tough to win like that if you don't have 5 offensive linemen. Okay, who are the X factors in this game?
Will Reichard and James Burnip. James Burnip,
yep.
On when they punt up, he can get them really close to their own end zone, and it makes it tough for them to drive down the field and run the clock. If Alabama can get good, if they can do that, they can get good field position, and it could be a shootout. But yeah, I will choose Will Reichard because he is the best kicker in college football, so it has to be them too.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point to emphasize the special teams because so many times we get caught up in the offense and the defense. But when you look to the special teams component for this team, I mean, they've been fantastic. I mean, Will Reichard has been a shining star, now the all-time leading scorer in the SEC. And then you have James Burnip, who isn't getting a lot of notoriety, which punter does outside of J.K. Scott. J.K. Scott was so good, so good, and so is James Burnip. James Burnip is he's not J.K. Scott's he's like in the Hall of Fame punting category, but in terms of a really sufficient punter, probably the best punter after him is James Burnip, 100%. And the crazy thing is the next best punter is probably Will Reichard after him, which is crazy. Like you throw Will Reichard in, hey, go punt. And he's like, okay, coach, and you're in the shadow of your own end zone. He boots a punt. You're like, this dude, really? Yeah, so James Burnip has been great. So thank you for bringing up those guys because this is the thing. Field of position matters in a game like this. And when James Burnip can change the field position and pin you deep, he has 10 punts that are inside the 20 this year, which is fantastic, right? Glad he's healthy, and Will Reichard has been money. And you know what Will Reichard wants? These 2 next games, you know what's on, like, kickers, yeah, they can move on from play to play, but we all know what happened last year against Tennessee.
Oh, for sure.
We all know what happened against LSU. You don't think Will Reichard thinks about that? Probably. I mean, maybe in some capacity, but more in a motivational way. More in a way that came back and just like, okay, you want to talk your trash? Okay, let's see. Because Will Reichard, that guy has been stone cold. Did you see him posted in like walking into Bryant Denny, and he had a turtleneck on. He had a white turtleneck on. Did you see that? He had a white turtleneck with like a kind of like almost like a white suit. He looked like a stormtrooper, and he was ice cold. Man, that's peak athleticism. That's the leading scorer in SEC history. Crazy.
That is crazy.
All right. So, give me thank you so much, Elizabeth. We got another super chat from Elizabeth. Thank you so much. She super chatted $16 for Will Riker. Of course, number 16. I love it. All right, Timmy. Bama beats Tennessee if this happens.
If they can run the football and cause turnovers on their defense, I believe that'll be the main issue. Like if their defense can cause turnovers and third and longs, it's going to be a long night for Tennessee, or a long day for Tennessee.
And let's see what else we got. And can Bama win a shootout? I guess this is a hypothetical that I've been asking to everybody. I mean, look, they haven't been in a shootout. Do you think that they could possibly win a shootout if they're able to get into a shootout?
Oh yeah, for sure. They have one of the best deep throwers in college football. They have 38 plays they have over 20 plus yards. They've done that 38 times, which is probably the first or second most in all of college football. So they can definitely heave it downfield. And so, I do believe they can definitely win a shootout. Their defense is capable of it. So we've seen that time and time again. So, yeah, I believe they can definitely win a shootout.
Okay, and give me a score prediction.
49-16.
49
at home.
Whoa, 49-16?
Yeah, because I think everybody's been here back, and they have not moved from the rankings in 3 weeks, and I know for a fact they want to climb up those rankings, and at least be over Texas. But since Texas beat them, that's going to be iffy. They've been disrespected by every media, Paul Feinbaum, everybody. This will be their game where they come out and show the world what they can really do on offense.
That's a big score prediction. I like it. And you're right. I mean, this team, and the great thing is this team has so much reverse rat poison for the first time ever, is that they're not even ranked in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, for real,
so they're not a top 10 team. North Carolina is. So I guess, yeah. And, I mean, they went toe to toe with App State. I'm just saying, but so Alabama went toe to toe with South Florida. So touche on that, right? All right. I mean, that was a dogfight. I remember tweeting, I was like, put Jalen Milroe in and let's get the hell out of here. You know, like this isn't fun. So
I didn't even want to watch it. Like I was playing on my phone, and I was like, there has to be a reason why Jalen ain't playing. If I'm Nick Saban, I'm proving to everybody why I started Jalen the first game. So,
all right, man.
It almost bit him in the butt.
Yeah, it did. All right, Timmy. Well, I appreciate you calling in, man, and please call again next time.
All right, peace, man.
All right, man. Take it easy. All right, that was Timmy calling in. We got let's see, call line is open, 205-850-1994. We have, let's see who we got in the call queue. We got a 972, a 337, and a 402 coming up next right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys joining us tonight. hit the thumbs up. You can become a fan funder by hitting the join button on our YouTube channel. There's plenty of ways to become a member. I think it might be a little bit more challenging than I thought it would be. I remember looking on Pat McAfee has a similar option. When I was on his chat feature, you could hit it and become a member pretty easy. So the people who have became members tonight, I appreciate you guys. I'll continue to dig into it. First half of the show was open, and then the second part of the show, we're moving to Fan Funder as we continue to, kind of explore new options right here on our YouTube channel. Remember, this is what I do for a full-time living. Just like you have a full-time job, so do I. I have a little girl that I just asked to go to bed via text, who is 10 years old, because this is what I do. I know the hot spot to come onto the call-in show is from 8 to 10. So just like you put food on the table, I put food on the table just like that. And with that said, let's go to the phone lines, and we got a 972. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, man, it's Big T from Dallas, man. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Big T? I appreciate you calling in, man. It kind of reminds me of the old country song. I'm going to the Big D and don't mean Dallas. Remember that song?
Man, you
right?
already know for sure.
All right, man.
Heck yeah.
Right? That was a bad song back in the day. The one you didn't want to hear either, right? I mean, so anyways, Big T from Dallas calling in. Appreciate you calling in tonight. What's on your mind, man? Welcome to the show.
Man, it's a big week, man. Huge week. Big implications, for the SEC turnout, man. Looking forward to it. Hope the team is focused, man. And really, in a nutshell, man, if we can play 4 quarters, Kyle, we can stop beating ourselves, which is what we do every week. Seems like, because if we play 4 quarters and limit penalties and everybody, do their assignment for 4 quarters straight, man, I don't think anybody can beat us. No, we don't have the high fly, high profile offense, 40, 50 points a game. But, man, we are dominating on defense. And if we can create more balance on offense, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, if this team puts it together, and I hope that's not something that we say at the end of the season when we're playing in when Alabama's playing like the Citrus Bowl or something like that. Well, it could have been, it can still happen. And that's what we're hopeful for. But I hope we're not out here Charlie Brown in the pumpkin patch is waiting for the great pumpkin to come, which is the consistency of this team. The defense is already there. The defense that defense is in the playoffs, 100%. The offense is in whatever
top 5 defense for sure.
Whatever, yeah. The offense is whatever's below the Citrus Bowl. I don't know what bowl that is, but that's where the offense is. The good news is they're 6-1. They've won 5 in a row. They're 4-0. They're laying in the weeds. Everybody's talking that this is done, that Saban's over, and blah blah blah. So you do have reverse rat poison. Their challenging games coming up are at home. There's a lot to if you frame out. There's a lot of positives to look at, right? So with that said, we're playing You Make the Call, Ask Questions. You ready to go, Big T?
Let's do it, man.
All right. So first up, your biggest concern when you look to this Alabama versus Tennessee matchup?
I don't got to think about this one twice, man. It's definitely the left tackle position. Mm-hmm. Yes, our O-line is, not the greatest, but I think our weakest link is that left side. We've been moving guys around, but I think everybody else is, pretty consistent, for the most part. But that blind side for Jalen, man, I think he really worries about that sometime. And it, I think it affects his, his throwing ability and decision making and stuff like that. And if Caden can just lock in, man, for just 4 quarters, man, for one game, that's all we need. One game.
Yeah.
I think we'll be good, man.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I mean, considering that Tennessee has a 3rd-ranked pass rush in the country, and Alabama has 31 sacks allowed in 7 games, those 2 things are not good when going into this game and have to have you with some high anxiety going into Saturday, 100%. And also that tells you that you have to formulate your game plan to be ready for that, right? You know that's going to happen.
Yes.
So, Tommy, let's figure something out. The pass rush is coming. You've allowed 31 sacks. I mean, is there something that you can do, to get these guys in space? I mean, screens. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, let me ask you this, Big T. You've watched every game, so have I. How many screens?
Right.
Has his team ran like to the running back? You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like the good old fashioned,
Maybe two.
The good old fashioned, like 3rd and 7, and you're just like, oh, and everybody knows that the screen is coming, except somehow the defense, right? It works like a screen to the running back does wonders, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe we can.
Yeah, we need Tommy to call his greatest game. This Saturday. Not saying it's our last game, but I mean it's week by week. So we need Tommy to open up. Let Jalen loose and let's play.
Who are the X factors in this game?
It kind of goes back to what I was saying, earlier about the offensive line. So I think the X factor is Caden Proctor. If Caden Proctor can keep that left side, locked down, I can understand a sack, but I mean, as long as we limit those, offensively, Caden Proctor, man, that's the man that all eyes are on him. And defensively, man, it's going to be great to have Malachi Moore back. Defense is playing lights out, but we did kind of see like a drop off, last week with him being out. So he's definitely the leader of the DBs, the secondary man, and when he's out there, I just feel like everything just rolls better, man. So Malachi Moore, Caden Proctor are my 2 X factors, man.
Yeah, and it's good to hear an update, status update from Coach Saban saying that he was able to practice this I guess today, which is Wednesday, October 18th. That's a good sign for Malachi Moore, and it's a credit to Alabama's strength and conditioning staff to be able to get these guys who have suffered ankle injuries to be getting them back to speed within not even 14 days, 15, 16 days. I mean, I walk by the sports and science facility every day when I'm going to the University of Alabama. What's going on in there? I don't know. Like that is like some top level secret stuff. I mean, those guys are masterminds. That's why the news about Brock Bowers, there were people saying he's going to be out. I think I even said that, because it was Brett McMurphy who said it, that he was going to be out the remainder of the season. But all these guys have top of the line facilities. Plus, they're elite athletes. They're different type of human beings, right? They are
way different, right?
Right. So, okay. So, Bama beats Tennessee if this happens.
Whew, Bama beats Tennessee. Ooh, that's a tough one, man. I mean, I gotta say, if we can limit penalties, man, and stay out of our own way, Bama's gonna roll, man. That's my only concern, man. Penalties, man. We gotta limit them. Can
Bama win a shootout if this was to go into a back and forth backyard brawl?
No doubt. I think we got all the pieces offensively that we need to score at any time, man. We just haven't seen it this year, but we actually do have very, very great wide receivers. Amari, knee black. Oh my God, that kid is oh man.
Yep.
He's a great player, man. So I think, yeah.
It was great to see Amari Niblack come up with that critical catch, and Jalen put some touch on it in that last game. But one of the things that one of the SEC shows pointed out on Saturday morning was the fact that, and this was credit to Tommy Rees, honestly. So Amari Niblack went out in formation, and he was as an ineligible receiver. So he had his hand down and he was ineligible. Well, Alabama took a wide receiver off and put him on the opposite side, which made Amari Niblack an eligible receiver. And Arkansas, their defense didn't pick up on that. So when Amari Niblack floated over for his touchdown catch, that's why he was so wide open, because they didn't even understand that he was an eligible receiver. So that's a heads-up play by Tommy. That's good execution from Jalen and from Niblack, right? Like those three are all working in unison, especially the offensive line, to provide that type of protection. So I'm sure like inside the office, like that was a play there where they're like heads-up play and everybody's talking, outside noise, but that was a good play on all fronts. Okay, so what's your score prediction, Big T?
Man, my score prediction is I'm gonna go with 30-17. Bama rolls, man.
30 to
I'm gonna give Tennessee 2 touchdowns, 1 in the first, 1 in the fourth, and a field goal, man. And 30-17, roll tide.
Okay, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for calling in, Big T, and thank you very much for the support. Appreciate you, man.
For sure. Thank you, bro.
All right, fam. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys watching. We got a 337, a 402, a 716, and a 786. We are encouraging people to become fan funders tonight inside the comment box. I'm going to dig into this more as we continue to push forward. So there should be an option when you go to comment that it gives you an option. Honestly, the first level to become a fan funder where you can get access to everything is just $2.99. That's all it's going to be. There's different options, but just $2.99, and that's a month. That's not like a $10 fee. There's different options within there, but it's just $2.99. That's it. If I can get 3% of our 100,000 subscribers, we're good to go. That's kind of the goal here. So $2.99. And I appreciate it. This is what I do for a full-time living, so I appreciate it. Just like you have a full-time job, I do too, and this is it. And I really, really appreciate your support. And thanks for believing in me to run this channel on a full-time basis. With that said, we go back to the phone lines. 337, we start right now. Hey, thanks for being patient. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
This is David from Louisiana.
Hey, David, what's up? Sorry, I've just been flying through the kind of calls. I didn't even see the 337 snap. With that said, man, welcome on in, David. Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Yep. I hope your day's been good, brother.
Thank you. You too. Yeah, you know what? Today has been great. And the way of my personal day on Wednesday is an early morning start, and then I have the SEC teleconference. And then I kind of show prep for the evening time. And, then you have Coach Saban at 6 p.m. And then you have, the 2-hour show on Wednesday. So it's kind of up and down. It's a long day, but it's great. So, and this is the American story, right? Like, you can work for your own merits. That's what's so amazing. So before I moved here, and I know you didn't ask me this, but I ran my own business for 12 years. So I'm not afraid to work. And the more you work, the better things happen for you. Honestly, it's like if you work, good things happen. You're able to pay your bills. If you don't work, you can't pay your bills. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I did figure out that the harder you work, the better life you have. So, and that's the option that we can have here. Like you say, you're like always like, love being in America. Well, that's one of the options that you get to be here. Is if you work and you grind, good things happen. So anyways, with that said, welcome to the show, David.
I know how it is. I own my own business too. I make pretty decent money. I'm my own boss, but that's the American dream. Get off your, you can do anything you want. But with that being said, this is Tennessee Hate Week. And it's going to be a good game. I really believe it is going to be a good game. Like I said the other night, Tennessee was ranked 17th in the nation in total defense. They're actually ranked 32nd in the nation in total offense. Alabama's ranked 86th in the nation in total offense, which, considering all the penalties we've had and, the struggles and stuff, it's not too bad. It could be a whole lot better. We should be ranked in the top 20 with the talent that we have on offense. It's going to be a good game. I'm more worried about when we play LSU in November. They have the second ranked offense in the country.
Yeah.
Their defense is trash. They got a trash defense, but they do have a legit offense. And them boys can score at will, it seems like, But I was looking at Tennessee's schedule earlier while everybody was talking and looking at how close their games were or how bad they beat everybody. I mean, the only loss they have is to Florida. And, Florida beat them by, 2.5 scores. South Carolina, they beat South Carolina. Texas A&M, they pulled it out by, a touchdown. It's going to be, I believe it's going to be a knockdown drag out, especially in our offensive line against their defensive front. I don't know much about them except for what little bit I hear on TV or see on Facebook or whatever. I know Milton's a pretty good quarterback. He's got some wheels on him. He's not afraid to run. I know they do have some good wide receivers. And they got to be pretty good to have, be ranked as high as they are as, total offense. I know they don't play nobody, really, kind of like Georgia. Georgia don't play nobody. I mean, Christian Prep, Joe Blow School here in Louisiana could probably beat half the team that Georgia's played on their schedule. But I believe it's going to be a good game. It's going to be one of those. But I'm like everybody else. I would love to see Alabama go in and play 4 quarters, both sides of the ball. The biggest problem is not just the penalties that are killing us on offense, because the defense ain't really giving up too many penalties. It's mainly the offense. If the offense could get more first downs and stay on the field longer and give our defense some breathing time to recoup instead of 3 and out, 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 and our defense comes back out there and they're gassed. Because if we get in a shootout somehow and our defense is gassed, there's no telling what could happen. We do have a legit defense. There is no question. It's like I said here the other day, our offense will play in the Tampax Independence Bowl, and I think that's the lowest bowl that there is in the country, because that's right over here by where I live at Shreveport, Louisiana. And our defense could play in the national championship. I mean, it's just a fact. But if you want to go ahead and get on them questions or whatever,
let's do it. Okay, so your biggest concern when going into this Tennessee game, what is it?
Offensive line. I'm not concerned as far as the run game, because we can move the ball running. It seems like our offensive line was more built around a run, possibly, little short screens to tight ends, something quick and fast. Whenever it's a long pass, on the passing side of it, for running routes, 25, 30-yard routes or whatever, it's just, the left side is just getting destroyed. We need, I guess, to have 2 running backs in on each side of Mill Row to pick up these blocks, these guys coming in on him, just to help block better or something. I don't know what else to do. To me, it's just the offense on the passing side of it, Run, I don't see a problem with it because we move the ball pretty good at times.
Who are the X factors? Can be someone from the offense, can be someone from the defense, special teams. Who you got?
Offense, man, it's I have to go with it's a 50-50 on this. Running back room, and then you have now Black, Burton, and Bond. I mean, any 3 of those can just break out at any minute. I mean, we've seen it, especially with Burton. The only thing I have a problem with him is his bumping his gums too much sometimes. I know it's good, but like I said, it could turn out to be something that just hurts us eventually.
It could be like he catches a 3rd and 17, he catches like a 20-yard pass, and then he hits someone in the throat and gets a personal foul or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It could be like in the 4th quarter when you're going into the red zone, and then it takes you out, and then Will Reichard lines up for what would be a 47-yard field goal, turns into like a 61, and you miss the kick or something like that. right? Like,
yep, and then we lose by 1 point
exactly,
or 2
yeah.
points.
No, I
whatever.
know. Yeah, it could be something like that. So it's like they're, okay, do what Tony Brown did. Go out before the game and walk between the lines of the team stretching.
And talk your smack there.
That dude was,
do what you got to do before the game and after the game.
He would do that. He would take off his shirt and just go around in his girdle. I'm serious, and walk through the lines.
Yep, he sure would. I remember that.
Guess how many people? Guess how many people told him something? Nobody.
I mean, that's the way it should be done. I mean, it's okay to bump your gums a little bit, but I've seen Burton with I've seen it on the field, on film. He's got a temper on him, it seems like, and it's like I said, he's coming up for the draft, and these NFL scouts and stuff that are looking at him, and I know some people maybe in the comments hearing it are saying, "Oh, they ain't worried about that." I mean, well, you're going to pay somebody millions of dollars and you're trying to play for a Super Bowl or win games and you got this attitude and an anger problem. They don't want that. Mm-hmm. It's okay to jack your jaws and bump your gums a little bit, but sometimes he lets it go too far, in my opinion. It's just my humble opinion.
Okay, let's move forward. Bama beats Tennessee if this happens.
Well, I did mention it earlier. If the offense can cut down on the penalties and play their best game of the year, mainly the offensive line, that is my main thing. And it's got to be 4 quarters. It can't be, because it seems like lately we've been a second half team, in a lot of the games we've played. And the offense has got to move the ball, get to the red zone. Even if we end up with a field goal, great, but they have got to keep the defense off the field as much as they can, because when you start wearing down your opponent's defense, then you start having command of the game because they're getting gassed. You want your defense fresh, and our offense has got to do that in the last few games that we have in SEC play. If not, we won't be making no playoff. We'll be the laughing stock of the country. It's just the way I look at it.
Okay, let's see. Can Bama win a shootout?
If our defense is fresh, we probably could, and it just depends like I said, all in how our offensive line does. If Dalcourt can do his position right, Proctor, everybody on the offensive line can protect the quarterback, open up lanes for running the run game. Tommy Reese gets some better play calls coming in, jet sweeps and things like that. It could possibly do that because you don't want to go into overtime against Tennessee, or LSU or whoever down the road. You want, like I said here a while back, it is getting to the point where style points matter. These people, when it comes to picking who's going to be in the playoffs, or whatever, they look at that. Oh, well, they beat a team that's, like when we play Auburn. Auburn's won, 2 games or 3 games this year? I don't even know and we only beat them by 3 points. They look at that, especially when you're ranked number 11 or 10 or whatever.
Yep.
And I know it's an SEC team, but it still doesn't matter. They look at that. And it's time for Alabama to buckle down and do what they used to do, because it's getting nail-biting to me. I don't have too much nails left.
All right. Okay, let's see. All right, give me your score prediction.
Oh, Jesus Christ. If Alabama plays like I want them to play, like they have played in the past, and like everybody else wants them to do, it could be bad. Bama could just walk away and leave Tennessee. But in reality, if what everybody knows right now and sees right now with the offense and stuff, I have to say, like, maybe 24 Bama, 17 Tennessee. You know, that's just the way I look at it right now. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's 42-17. But there's a lot of things that's got to happen in order for that to be a reality. But in my reality, I'll do 24-17, maybe 27-17. But I'll stick with 24-17 right now. Please, Nick Saban, Tommy Rees, Kevin Steele, Milroe, and the whole Alabama team, prove me wrong that you can do and walk the dog like you should. With that being said, brother, you know how I close it out. God bless everyone. God bless this great country. Keep Israel in your prayers. And roll Tide.
Roll Tide, David. Appreciate you, buddy. All right, take it easy. All right, that was David out in Louisiana. We got a 402, a 716, and a 786. All right, we'll do the 402. We'll take it right now. Hey, good evening. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Derek from Omaha.
Derek from Omaha. We appreciate you calling in from Nebraska. Welcome to the show, man. Take it away.
Yeah. I hear these other callers and everything like that, you know, and I agree with most of what everybody's saying. But one thing I gotta say is everybody talks about the sacks and stuff like that, but Alabama's averaging 5 sacks a game.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Jalen Moreau, if you're listening, and no hard feelings, bro, but 3 of those sacks is because of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get outside the pocket and everything like that, you know, instead of making your mind, you throw it away or run it, you keep on looking to find a receiver, and you're running towards the sideline, which is another defender of yours. You know, I mean, the field was short now. If he will get rid of the ball or just make his mind up to run, you know, then that relieve that. And another thing is, if he stay in the pocket, like the few games I've seen, if he would just stay in the pocket, moved up, because there's going to be a watcher on him. There's going to be a watcher on him.
Yep.
If he just stayed in the pocket and moved up, because the defense ends are going to play the outside. And just like Nick Saban said in one of his conferences, is he's like, you got help inside. So why are you going to get beat on the outside? And he get beat on the outside because he runs to the outside instead of stepping into the box and making that watcher commit and move up. He can have Nyback, the tight end, open in the middle, or anybody rerouting, you know, coming through the middle and stuff like that, wide open all the time. But he panics. Mm-hmm. You know, I won't say he panics, but, you know, he just get too excited and whatnot, and that leads to, you know, negative plays.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that when you look to Jalen Milroe's game overall, you have to remember, what has he started? So we've played how many games this season? 7. He started 6, and then he started 1 last year, so he started 7, right? So he started 7 games, and he's a redshirt sophomore. And while we are seeing continued progression from him, in my opinion, like you take Jalen Milroe, the first 3 games that he played, and then the next 3 games that he played, there's a big difference. And I hope that we continue to see a big difference in the next 3 games as well. Some of the sacks have definitely been on him. Like when I look at Jalen Milroe, the intermediate passes, they haven't been such a big issue to me. The deep ball's been good, but the issue when I have with Jalen Milroe has been more about not getting rid of the football, like just throwing it out at, like, you know, like the mascot or the opposing coach or something like that. When someone's chasing you, like, just get the ball out, right? When you're outside of the tackle and you get rid of the football, that's fine. And he absorbed some of those sacks. So I think it would be interesting to kind of tally up those numbers to see how many of those sacks are self-imposed on Jalen Milroe. But then again, it's like he's running from his life because the left tackle collapsed, or the center. Like, there's been some times, if you go back and watch, Seth is just literally just like Olayed the defensive tackle, literally. And you just have this guy like chasing Milroe. So, you know, look, like, Proctor's young. Jalen is still young. But with that said, like it's like these next games are pivotal, and they can still achieve so many goals. So I really hope that they can lock in. And this week, I think it was on Monday, we had an opportunity to hear from Tyler Booker, who's Alabama's left guard. You see him all over. He's doing interviews with everybody. They asked him about playing tackle, and he said he dodged the question, and he said, no, we've never talked about that before. I don't know about that. I think that it might come dire straits to where you're like, look, Tyler Booker, I don't care. Like you play guard, but like you're going to start playing tackle. And there has to be another guard that can step in, because the way that Alabama's offensive line is number one is J.C. Latham, 100%. He was just the SEC player of the week for the offensive lineman. And then the second best lineman is who? J.C. Latham, right? I'm sorry, Tyler Booker. So I guess, is this an emergency situation? I would say yes. 31 sacks. We're in a bad spot.
Well, as far as Proctor, I'm from Omaha, Nebraska, right? He's from Iowa. Let me tell you something. He don't know. He has no idea of what's coming at him. I mean, you got these farm boys out here. You know what I mean? They run like a 4.6 40 and stuff like that. The speed that's come, just like old boy last week, that bald head dude from Arkansas. Man, ate him up. Ate him up. He's not used to that speed. So it's like, get him out of there. I know everybody's talking about, rotating offensive line and stuff like that, man. But I'm telling you, from in the Midwest, players are not used to that speed, and down south. They're not used to that speed down south. I don't care how big you are. 6'6", 320 pounds. And you playing a cement all day. Come on, man. Maybe there's nobody to replace him. But if he don't get his stuff together, Tennessee gonna eat us up, man. I'm telling you that right now. Tennessee gonna eat us up. And I'm gonna say this: after watching that game last year, for all the Alabama players that were on the squad, and even the recruits that were on the sideline or watching at home, if you ain't up for this game, man, go ahead and hit that transfer portal, man. Go ahead and hit that transfer portal. Because if you ain't up, the way they clowned us, the way they talked all mess, come on, man. Stop it with it. Whatever mistake you making, you better goddamn get it corrected right now, or you go ahead and get in the transfer portal, man. That's what I got to say about that.
Yep. No, I got you, man. Let's fly through these 5 questions real quick, okay? You with me? All right, we're on with Derek from Omaha. Okay. You ready? All right, you're I already know what you're going to say, but the biggest concern going up against Tennessee is what?
Going against Tennessee is complacency and, just thinking like, you got this without the heart behind it. You know what I mean? Because the things that's happening with Alabama right now is mental. You can fix that. You understand what I'm saying? But in the meantime, it's just like you just got to take back, what got you here, what got Alabama to be where they're at, in the national stage and stuff like that. How if you don't have that same energy, coming in this game, because this is a revenge game, baby. If you don't have that energy, that's the biggest factor right there, man. To me.
All right. Who are your X factors?
Tommy Reese. If he if he won't be scared and just call these vanilla plays and not know how to make changes and stuff like that, I think that's going to be the X factor.
Yeah, I like that X factor, and I don't think anyone on the show has had that. Kendra, what's up, man? I appreciate the 10 spot. Love the channel. Keep up the great work. Absolutely. And I don't think it was on you guys inside the comment box. So I'm trying to move to a fan funder model. So it's $2.99. There's, that seems reasonable for everybody out there. but I think like, and it should work like this. If you go to the chat area and you want to like chat, it'll prompt you to become a fan funder, and you have the option to simply say no and just watch the show. There's an issue with that, so I'm going to dig into that and kind of figure that out, because I saw it. I mean, you know, I'm a self creator. This is what I do for a living, and I saw you're able to do that on the Pat McAfee show, and I do have the same technology, so I'm going to dig into that. So if you couldn't sign up to be a fan funder, go to the YouTube channel on the homepage and hit the join button. You'll see all the options. Okay, let's see. Bama beats Tennessee if
going back to the second question. If Tommy Reese come with some, you know, if he come with, come on, man, open up the offense, bro. Open up the offense, man. You can't be scared. You know, I know you come from Notre Dame, where y'all play Children of the Corn, University, and Liberty, and Navy, and Army, and stuff like that, man. But you got to come down, and you got to be ready to fight. You got to be ready to fight. If you don't know about this SEC thing, man, you need to goddamn, hey, to hand in your resume, or hand in your your song to say, man, I got to go, man. I got to go.
Yep.
Because that's going to be, if Tommy Reese ain't up to par on this by now, man, you got to go.
Yep.
That's all. That's if Bama beats Tennessee, if Tommy Reese come with it.
All right. And let's see. No, Alabama hasn't had to do this yet, and I've been asking everybody, but can Bama win a shootout?
Can Bama win the shootout? I think they can. I think, you know, Alabama's the second. We always, this season, we started off slow and stuff like that, you know, and then I like the way Saban is starting to get more animated and get and holding cats accountable and stuff like that, you know. And if you look at the Texas A&M game, when we came out in the second half, man, we were looking like the old Alabama. I mean, you know, he was hitting the mid-range pass. He was doing his thing, Milrow. So if it comes down to it, I think he can.
I do too, to be honest. For the record, I do too. Especially because, I mean, they've hit on a lot of big plays. I mean, this team, I believe that they can. Okay, so finally, with that said, what's the score prediction?
I thought about this a lot, and I listened to a lot of callers and everything like that, and I'm going to keep it close, man, for real, because I know there's style points at the end of the year, but I'm just saying, man, just win out, and everything will figure out for itself. So I'm gonna go with 31 to 21, Alabama, with Tennessee scoring a late touchdown to make, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that.
So it's going to be 31 to 21.
Okay. Yeah, I like it, man. Hey, I like the call, Derek, so I appreciate you, man. Calling from Omaha anytime. I used to live in Iowa, believe it or not. I lived in Pella, Iowa. Went to school at Central College. South of Des Moines.
Okay.
It was cold.
Okay.
It was cold.
So you know what I'm talking about. Them Iowa boys, Midwest ain't ready for down south boys.
So
you know what I'm saying?
So check this out. So I went to a game down here, a high school game. Games down here in Alabama. I've been here now almost 7 years, believe it or not, here in Alabama. And Hillcrest High School, everyone's heard of Hillcrest if you're from Tuscaloosa. They put out some amazing football players. Bo Scarborough went to Hillcrest, for example. So I go to Hillcrest just recently, and I watched the game. There was a defensive lineman there, 6'5", 290. I'm serious. This young man was killing the quarterback. He was it was a different level of speed. That's the South. That's the speed here. Hillcrest is one of the top. I think Hillcrest is like one of the top 6 teams in the state of Alabama. This young man, I'm serious. Like, this young man was going to hurt somebody. It's a speed in the SEC. And I mean, the kids at the high school level are the same way. So you're right. I mean, there's a different level between there in Iowa, the Midwest. I mean, the Northeast, like the South is speed. Florida is speed. Like that exists. But I really appreciate the dialogue, Derek. So anytime you want to call in, man, call again, and I appreciate it.
Got you, man. Roll Tide, baby.
All right, roll Tide to you, man. All right, we got a 716, a 8-6 and a 703, and then we'll close out. But first, I got Toby. Toby has entered his picks. Toby, by the way, if you don't know about Toby, he is the world's biggest Alabama football fan. I met Toby during the first game of the season, and he has been a strong supporter, and I see him every single time before I go into the media press box. He's there. We chop it up. He calls Coach Saban and tells Coach Saban what to do. I'm just kidding, but he's a great fan of the Alabama Crimson Tide. So here is Toby's take. Let's get this up. And Toby's take is his biggest concern is the offensive line. I get it, Toby. I 100% agree with you. His X factors are Dallas Turner and Kool-Aid. In order to beat Tennessee, Alabama has to play 4 quarters of football. And can Alabama win a shootout? He says, I would hope. I'm with you there, Toby. And then his score prediction is Alabama 36, Tennessee 17. And he also says that he hates the color orange. So roll Tide to you, Toby. Appreciate it. One of the biggest Crimson Tide fans you'll ever meet. And I look forward to seeing you. So the game's at 2:30. We both get there 3 hours ahead. So probably see you around 1:30, Toby, at our spot right outside the press room. All right. So appreciate your support and for believing in the channel, believing in me, and for always giving me your thoughts regarding the Alabama Crimson Tide. With that said, we go back to the phone lines for a couple more calls before we close it out. 214, just hang tight. We got 3 callers ahead of you, and then we'll be right with you. 716, you're up next.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for calling in. Thanks for being patient. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson, who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Good evening, Kyle. It's Q from Brooklyn.
What's up, Q? I appreciate you calling in, man. Thank you so much, and welcome to the show.
Sir. Thank you for having me, brother. So do I just get started on what I expect for this weekend?
You can go. We could do an opening monologue, or we could just go 1 through 5, Q. What you want, man? Make your move.
Just a quick, let me just give you a quick rundown on what I expect.
All right.
I expect us to play like Coach Saban said, the whole 60.
Mm-hmm.
You have to come, not just the first half we play well, second half we go into our shell and play really conservative and no more entertaining football. I think we play this game with our hearts, not just with our technique. Because when we were younger, if you played Pop Warner or you played little T-ball, they used to tell you the game is 80% mental, 20% physical.
Mm-hmm.
Mentally, you got to come into this game with the mindset that we are going to dominate this team in orange.
Mm-hmm.
We got to make sure they leave our stadium, Bryant Dennis Stadium, dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Make them quit. Bring the Alabama team. Bring that Alabama mindset where we play teams and they don't want to play us no more. We make them quit before halftime, and they come out and they're just tired and they don't want to play anymore. That's the mindset we have to come with this weekend. That's what I'm expecting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. I like that, Q, because in a game like this, there's no other time to turn it on than the third weekend of October. Like, this is a rivalry game. Like, you shouldn't need to be got up. Like, you need to turn those orange jerseys brown. And those players need to understand the magnitude and the gravity, not only of this rivalry game, but of what is at stake. Like, you can't think about this. Alabama, in my opinion, they're already in the playoffs. This is it. Like, Alabama can't lose another game, period. Again.
Yes,
like
true.
Like they're in the playoffs already. Like the college football playoffs are so weird that they're already in the playoffs. They control everything. If Alabama wins for the rest of the season, that's it. We know who's going to be on the other side. You think Georgia's really going to lose to Florida? They might. Okay, they might. Honestly, without Brock, I can see it potentially happening. But if Alabama is able to just win every single game remaining on their schedule, they got a pretty good shot at winning the national title if they're able to be one of the teams that get in. And it's not based on like the style points. Go ahead, Q.
Yes. and sorry to cut you off there, but at the end of the day, if you look at the top 10 teams that are currently, if the playoffs started today, none of these teams from 5 to 10 are better than Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Just based on our schedule alone would tell you that
Yes.
our team is better. The teams that we play are more physical. The teams that we play are more electrifying. The offenses are very difficult, tough to beat. All these Big Ten schools, Pac-12 schools that are in the college, like, I don't understand how their schedule is so light.
Yes.
So easy.
Mm-hmm.
That you think Alabama's 11 for the past how many 3 weeks okay, the games have been, we're not the old Alabama where we blow out teams. You got to understand that things are changing. Teams are in the SEC are getting better. They're hiring coaches, the offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators that have been around the block of Alabama, so they understand what Alabama does and they understand the Alabama structure. Like, sometimes I feel like when we get offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, staff, support staff that comes into Alabama and leave, they shouldn't go to another school for another 2 years. They will have to sit out and take all that they learned and study it, and do a research on it before they go and get another job, because it's like you're taking what we're learning and you're running with it, and then now when you have to see us, like Dan Enos last week against Arkansas, he was just at Alabama. He went to Maryland with Loxley, and then he came all the way to Arkansas again. You know, so I just don't understand why the college football committee is thinking that these teams from 5 to 10 are better than Alabama, and we have not been moving up the ladder. How? We only lost one game this season, and that game was at our own fault.
Yeah, I know.
It's not like Texas came in and beat us.
Look, North Carolina, I get it. Like, they're a fine football team. They're having a good season, and so are the other teams in the ACC. I don't trust any of those teams in the ACC at all. I don't. I watched them
North
play.
Carolina beat. They beat Who did North Carolina beat? They beat unranked Clemson.
Yeah. I guess they beat Miami. People are like, they beat Miami. They could beat Alabama. I'm like, I don't know. They almost lost to App State. They got a good team. They do. They got a good team. But if they're coming into Alabama this week, you have a lot less anxiety playing North Carolina than you do Tennessee.
That's true.
I'm serious. All right, let's run through these 5 questions. All right, what's your biggest concern going into this game against Tennessee?
The offensive line. And I say that because it starts with the center. He has to make sure his guys to his left and his right are intact in order, focused. I think the center needs to do a better job commanding the offensive line and leading those boys. Starts with the center. Our history of Alabama, our centers were the vocal point of that offensive line. I haven't seen Seth in a press conference yet, but we see Tyler Booker in the press conference all the time. Tyler Booker is not the leader of that offensive line. I think Seth is the center. He should be the leader, he should be the spokesman of the offensive line. He can command what he wants his guys to his left and his right to do.
All right.
Biggest concern is the offensive line.
Yeah, and that's been pretty much everybody tonight has been talking about the offensive line. Okay, who are your X factors?
My X factors will have to be. I'm not gonna lie. It will be Chris Boswell and what's his name on the other side of him, Dallas Turner.
Yeah,
I think they had those linebackers have to come out big, and when either whoever the defensive coordinator is, we don't know who's calling the plays. But whoever it is, when he dials up some blitzes and those packages to come at the quarterback, we need to get to them. And Dallas Turner and Chris Boswell need to have a not start off slow, but start off fast and at least get some pressures onto him. You don't got to get the sack completely, but get some pressures on him, make him scared, make him rattled in that pocket. You're gonna have some turnovers, and our cornerbacks need to step up and make some tackles and stop getting flung around like ants. Or make some tackles, especially Kool-Aid, with all those big chains that he be wearing at pregame and all your bling bling and showing off. Tuck the chain, son. Buckle up your chin strap and make sure you come down and lay them. Where the Alabama cornerbacks, safeties that used to come down and lay the wood.
Mm-hmm.
Lay the wood.
Mm-hmm.
We had cornerbacks back in the day. What's this? Size Jones. We had Anthony Avery. We had Humphreys. We had Fitzpatrick.
Mm-hmm.
guys like that come down and lay you down and know that just because you got past the linebackers, you're coming against the speedy linebackers, and which is our safeties and our corners. So that's the X factor right there. Those outside linebackers.
All right, and we got let's see, Bama beats Tennessee
if we can protect the quarterback, if the quarterback will stop overthinking, and we run the ball efficiently. We don't have to get 12. We don't have to get 10 yards a pop. But if we could get 3-4 yards on the first down, that's good enough. And then we go with some short passes, some quick passes. Look, if Bama wins if Tommy Rees comes with his A game, respectfully. If Tommy Rees stop being so black and white and start being a little bit more, just put some little sauce in it. You know, when you like the Salt Bay, you know, when the Salt Bay adds things to this food and he's sprinkled it on, let Tommy Rees start doing that, add some flavor to his cooking. He's just been too regular. First down run, second down run, third down, 3rd and 10. Let's throw the ball now. Put more little flavor into your offensive play calling. So if Bama beats Tennessee, if the offense comes to play, all factors, not just Tommy Rees, the offensive line executes, running backs executes, quarterback executes, wide receivers running routes, pass block, everything. It's the offensive line. The offense comes to play.
All right, let's go straight to the score prediction. Q, what you got for me, man?
It's gonna be tough. I think, to be honest, I'll say Bama wins by 1 touchdown. I can't put a number on it, but I'd say by 1 touchdown. I don't think it's a runaway. I don't think it's a blowaway.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, all right, Q. End it, man. All right. Do your thing.
First and foremost, thank you, Kyle, for having me on. But first and foremost, I want to say, God bless America. God bless me, Kyle. God bless you, Kyle. God bless me. God bless Alabama football. God bless Nick Saban. God bless Mrs. Saban. God bless this country, this great country that we call America. God bless all of the people of this great world, all over the world. God bless you all. Have a good night.
All right. Take it
Roll
easy,
Tide.
Q. All right. Roll Tide, man. All right. That was Q up in Pastor Q. How about that? Pastor Q. All right. We got a 786, a 703, and a 214. I'm going to take you guys, and then we're going to call it a night. We're going to get some rest. I've been up since 4:30. We're going to keep these next calls short and sweet, and we're going to move through them. We start with the 786 starting right now. Hey, good evening.
Hey,
You're on the
what's
line
going
with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
What's going on, Kyle? It's Chad from Miami.
Hey, what's up, Chad? I appreciate you calling in, man, from Miami, man. Welcome to the show, man. Take it away. Thanks for being patient, by the way.
Appreciate it, man. Not much, man. My predictions are coming true. From what I told you the last couple of weeks, man, the last 2 times I called in, saying that Bama can win. I told you last week, basically, Bama, they were going to win the game. They were going to be up big, but it just had to be disciplined. But it only half came through because they became very undisciplined in the late third and beginning of fourth quarter, and they let Arkansas come back and almost tie the game. So they were a little bit undisciplined. Then I also told you that everything's going to work out, man, if they just stay the course and be diligent and patient, even though they're still at 11, because most of the team in the top 10 haven't played each other. So they just started playing each other last week. So NC State and FSU, UNC and FSU are in the top 10. Both of those teams are definitely not going to make the playoffs. And whoever make the playoffs is still going to be a pretender. So I don't believe either team is going to make it. I don't think they're going to make it to the Final Four. Georgia hasn't played anybody yet, and they just lost Brock Bowers. They say it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks, and that's their best receiving threat. So we're going to see how they can game plan. You know, they have Missouri. They also got to play Tennessee, Ole Miss, and a few other teams on the schedule. So I want to see how they feel, because they really haven't played anybody in the last 2 years-ish until they got to the playoffs when they played us and they played
Ohio State
Mm-hmm.
in last year's playoff. You know that they played TCU, but TCU was kind of like taking candy from a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Big Ten is going to start playing each other, and so is the Pac-12. I know Ohio State is playing Penn State coming up, and then Ohio State and Penn State have to play, I believe, Maryland, and they also have to all play each other, including Michigan. So only one of those teams are going to make it to the playoffs. And then, the Pac-12, Washington just beat
Oregon,
and then all those teams are going to have to play USC, Utah, Oregon State.
I know. I was looking at that too. I mean, and the way that the college football ladder lines up. Look, I get it. Alabama, all those 10 teams are in front of Alabama, but they all still have to play each other, right? So, like, if Alabama just keeps winning, like, they're going to have to go up. And these are, I mean, there's going to be a challenging schedule. Tennessee for Alabama, LSU, like. You're going to get some respect with those. And look, I get it. So Michael's saying Florida State is in the ACC. And I love, Michael, I love your comments, man, because you do bring up some good stuff. I don't think that FSU, I think that is the biggest pretender in all of college football. All of college football, honestly. Right. I think, you look back at the win against LSU, I like that. But I watched that team for 4 quarters against Boston College and against Clemson. And that should be a 2-loss team.
Exactly. And then they said their defense were supposed to be highly rated this year. Their first-round pick, bro, all these mock drafts had Jared Verse ahead of Dallas Turner. Jared Verse has 2.5 sacks in 7 games, and he got 2 sacks last week in 1 game. In the first 6 games, he had half a sack. So I don't perceive him going ahead of Dallas Turner. And there's supposed to be a pass rusher coming out of UCLA and then another pass rusher coming out of Penn State. They're supposed to be going ahead of Dallas Turner. He's supposed to be the 4th pass rusher, but I don't believe that. He's supposed to be 1 or 2. He's ahead of all of them right now with 7 sacks. The next closest one is, I believe, the one from UCLA with 5.5 sacks. So Dallas Turner is I saw the poll today that he was going to be first-team All-American, but he just got to keep on working it and just drive the defense to be better. But also, I think he also need to be a leader and step up and talk to the offense. Understand Jalen Milroe stepped up and so on and so forth, but I don't think he's kind of like in that position, especially with the center is not even the spokesman for the offensive line when the center usually is. It's the guard for Alabama, and I just think the defense need to speak to the offensive line to get their ish together pretty much.
All right, let's jump into a score prediction, man. We got to wrap this up. So let's go, Chad, with the score prediction. What you got?
Like I said, man, they got to be diligent and patient, man, and they got to stop celebrating so early, especially at halftime with Nine Black and Burton. But I believe it's going to be 31 to 21. 31 to 21.
Okay, 31.
That's my score prediction.
I like that score prediction. It's crazy to think that a team could come into Alabama and score 3 touchdowns, as of late. But Tennessee, I mean, I think you got to have respect for their quarterback and their running game. I mean, just this defense. I mean, if Malachi is healthy, man, this is a good team. It's a good defense.
I'm more up. Think it's going to be 31 to 20. I'll give them 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals.
There you go. Okay.
Just in case.
Wait, and
but I believe the defense is going to start them do their thing.
And the thing about it too is the games are quick now, right? Like the games are fast. I mean, the game against Ole Miss was 3 hours, just like that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, man. All right, Chad, I appreciate you calling, man. And next time in Miami, man, we'll go down to Little Havana. We'll smoke a cigar together. Deal?
Yeah, for sure, man.
All right, man. Cool. See you, Chad.
All right, man. Have a good night.
All right. See ya. All right, 703 and a 214. 256, you can hang up, man. That'll be we're gonna take the 214 will be our last call. So 703 and then 214. I don't want to make you wait online. 703, let's do it. Hey, welcome to the show. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson.
Hey, Kyle.
We've turned into Bama football after dark. So welcome on in. Let's, let's right. It's crazy because when we used to do the post game shows, they would go like if Alabama played at 8 p.m., you would be on to like 1 or 2 p.m. and you'd be competing with, the after hour shows. So with that said, man, who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, it's Crimson Blood 22 from Fredericksburg, Virginia.
All right, Fredericksburg, man. You're almost in Thursday. You could tell us what happens tomorrow.
I know. I'm honestly just getting tired watching you work this hard.
Hey, man, it's all good. It's rivalry week. We gotta, it's an exciting time, and happy to be here, man. With that said, welcome to the show. Why don't you have like an opening monologue, or you got 5 questions? You want to just jump right into it?
I'm going to jump right in so we can get you to bed. I'm going to go through your slide deck on You Make the Call.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, number 1, biggest concern versus UT, offensive line pre-snap penalties.
Okay.
Number 2, who are the X factors? Will Reichard and the linebacker Marshall. I think they're really going to go after him, and we really need to watch the middle of the field with those underneath passes. I think Tennessee's going to attack the middle of the field. Number 3, Bama beats Tennessee if our running backs and offensive line, if we can run inside the tackles and stop bumping the runs outside. We really need to have the runs kind of cut up the middle and stop running outside. Everybody's fast in the SEC.
Hell yeah.
Can Bama win a shootout? I'm going to say absolutely not. Not with this team, not the way we're built. And the score prediction, Bama 24, Tennessee 20.
Okay. I like it. Total of 48. I need to see what the total points prediction for this game is. I know the lines, like someone said 9.5. I have 8.5. I don't know what the total is. I need Jarvis in here. He's probably sleeping already. No, I like it, Crimson Blood, and thanks for the super chat earlier. I appreciate the support from Fredericksburg, VA. I told you I used to live in Alexandria, so
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah. So, anyways, man.
All right. Well, listen, you all have a good night, and thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely, man. All right. Talk to you soon. See you, buddy. All right. 214. Let's do it. Bama football. Hey, good evening. Welcome to Bama football after dark. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hi, Kyle. This is Elizabeth Reed. I hope you're doing well. I'll be short and sweet because I know you're trying to wrap it up. But, I mean, my only thing is I feel bad sometimes. I mean, I do think this team is really undisciplined. It's uncharacteristically undisciplined. I do feel bad because I do think this is a very young team. And if I think back of myself, 8 to 9 years ago, when I would be 18 to 20 years old, I don't think I could play in front of 100,000+ and not mess up. So I do, I do think sometimes we expect perfection, but when we actually think back to it, they are young. They're young, and they're going to make mistakes. I think though the NIL has made it when you're making that much money, should you be making mistakes? Which is the only reason why I liked college versus the NFL, because it's that's just my opinion. In the NFL, when you drop a pass, well, that's why you make multi-millions to catch a ball. So it kind of levels it out. But to just jump right in, I don't really, we don't have to go through all 5 questions. My biggest concern versus UT, obviously it's the O-line. I think that's everyone said it. My biggest concern, though, is just that it's a rivalry game. We've seen Alabama teams be much more dominant than across the board in both offense, defense, every facet, play Tennessee in a tight game, 2009, 2015, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just the biggest thing to me is that it is a rivalry game. Emotions tend to run high. Therefore, mistakes could be made where you don't typically make them. So that's my biggest concern. I think we just need to focus and execute. The X factors to me, I think multiple people have said it, Dallas, Turner, opposite him, I think Braswell, I believe. And then to me, Jalen Milroe. The reason I like Jalen Milroe versus the other quarterbacks is because with this O-line, I think we needed a quarterback with escapability. And to me, he hasn't made the best decisions when it comes to running versus throwing away and throwing the pass away. So that's, to me, just making smart decisions. When it's Bama beats Tennessee, I think there's a lot of factors. I think playing a clean game, though, is going to be, we have the home field advantage. I think playing a clean game is going to be the biggest factor for us. And then when it's can Bama win a shootout? A natural ability, I think, yes, but it's so undisciplined that when we start first and 20, first and 15 with this young offense that's still trying to gel, that's still trying to just get on the same page, I think we dig ourselves into a hole. And so that's the only reason why I say we can't win a shootout, because if we start first and 20, I almost think it's almost a mental issue more than it is an ability. I think first and 20, they rattle themselves. And then I don't do score predictions because every time I've done a score prediction, Alabama's lost. So I'm not going to answer number 5. But that's all I really had to comment on.
Yeah, well, I appreciate, obviously the super chats and, kind of the dialogue here, because I think you bring up some really good points. I mean, I remember you saying that you have family that played offensive line or that coached offensive line or something around those parameters. And here we are 7 games later, and to see that being one of the biggest issues is concerning. I mean, that mind-blowing statistic that Alabama has allowed 31 sacks in 7 games is crazy. I mean, I think Georgia's allowed 6 over that same period. Now, Georgia hasn't played the schedule that Alabama has, but still the statistics are what they are. I think when you look to the X factors of this game, you certainly have to have a really big game from Dallas Turner. Dallas Turner has been such a monumental player to this team on the defensive side. Did you guys notice inside the comment box that he was wearing a club on his hand? That must have happened, sometime this week. I think they said an injury happened to him against Arkansas, and then he went right back in there. So he was wearing a club, and I noticed that there was another player. I think it might have been, I have to rewatch the film, but there was another guy with the club. But yeah, Dallas Turner has to come with it, and he has to have a big game. And I think to your point about can Bama win a shootout, yeah, they can, but it's like these penalties, especially pre-snap penalties, certainly get to this team. And in this particular game, playing a clean game like you were talking about is vital, because the atmosphere is going to be electric, but you're going to have home field advantage. And if you can limit penalties, pre-snap penalties specifically, and keep the chains moving, and most importantly, don't have penalties in the red zone, right? Like this team, I think, the ceiling's very high. I'm still really optimistic about this team, and they're young. Like we were talking earlier, like Jalen Milroe has only started 7 games. You compare that to other guys who left here. And by the way, Bryce and Tua and Jalen about to play on Sunday. Those guys had a lot of games under their belt, and so it's a young team. And I kind of always go back to this, Elizabeth. At the beginning of the season, SEC Media Days, there was only one player listed from the offense for all SEC, and that was J.C. Latham. Other than that, Alabama's a young team. On defense, there was only 2 guys. That was Dallas Turner and Kool-Aid. Now, the defense has proved, and those guys have grown up. The offense is going to hopefully grow up at some point. I think the ceiling is really high. I'm still optimistic about this team. So, we'll see how it shakes out, but this is rivalry week. It's a really big game here in Tuscaloosa. The players are amped up. I know Coach Saban is really excited about it. He said today that he doesn't smoke cigars, but he does, if Alabama is to win, he likes to chew on them for a little bit. So I thought that was a good soundbite. But anyways, Elizabeth, thank you so much, honestly, for your continued support of the YouTube channel, for leaving in the YouTube channel, and we'll see you next show.
Right. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
All right. You too. See you, Elizabeth.
Bye.
All right. That was Elizabeth Reed coming in This is the studio that she built. Thanks for all the super chats. We appreciate you guys more than you know. It's been a nice 2 hours and 30 minutes. I hope you guys have enjoyed the content. Remember, if you guys can become a fan funder of the YouTube channel, sincerely appreciate it, guys. If you're on a laptop, if you're on your computer, look for the join button as options as low as $2.99 a month to be a fan supporter of this channel. Really appreciate you guys for supporting me in this channel and believing in me to allow me to do what I do best. Honestly, I'm best suited to be here talking Alabama football with you guys. So from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, my name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and we will catch you tomorrow right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Good night, everyone.